Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to After Dark with Every Day with Jay. I thought I'd surprise y'all with a little oops. What's up? I figured I'd surprise y'all with a live stream tonight, talk about some of Seth's statements. I'm putting together some videos, so it's always nice to talk through things. So we have some clips we're going to listen to and discuss tonight. Come on in, everybody. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Good evening, everyone. Jubes, what's up? Vanessa, we gobshite, gotcha, and Chai, electronic medium, what's up with you? Good to see everybody tonight. What's up, Suze? Make sure you guys hit that like button on your way in, too, if you would be so kind. Hello, Larry. Hello, Truth Seeker, Barbie. Plume Art, G of Twins, and Angela. Renee is in. Hello, Miss Nightbot. Music City Mom, welcome back. Hello, Jill. Captain Ganja was number 8. Thank you for hitting that like button. Good to see you too, Renee. So I just been chilling. Actually, I've got a lot going on. I don't know. I told y'all I got a leaky roof, so we're dealing with that, right? And now I got a husband that's sick, so it's been a day. So nothing better than hanging out with my peeps. Hello, Gary, Michelle, Sunny, Miss Smith, Dixie is number 59. Thanks, guys. Hey, Simplify, how you doing tonight? Hey, JR. It's good to see you. Who shot JR? People used to say that to me in school. My initials were JR. Who shot JR? What's up, Flobo? What you cooking, Flo? You've had a leaky roof before, Ganja? Yeah, it ain't fun. Thanks, Renee. Thank you, you guys. He will. But what a day to start throwing up, right? Scott H. Hey, Scott. Your initials are JR. You know what's funny is before, like my maiden name, my initials are JLR. Can't make it up. You can't make it up. Literally. Sick hubbies are usually the worst. Well, thank God he's sleeping now. So I'm like, go live. But I did want to go over this with you guys because finding momming it up has just been. Do I sound tired? I kind of am. I'm just chilling though, Andy. I'm not really tired. I'm just chilling. I'm just like this is the time of night where I usually just chill. So you caught me in my major chill mode. I hope I don't bore you too much. But hey Sen. Hey Lucia. But yeah, so I don't remember what I was saying. Yeah, I'm just relaxed. Oh, JLR, yeah. Jennifer Lynn, for sure. Oh, so momming it up. Yes, Sin. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. So ever since I saw Momming It Up's YouTube and came across these videos, hey Alyssa, I've been like taking the clips that she so wonderfully saved and then putting them with clips that I so wonderfully saved because she's got a lot of the Terry Lynn, um, Bullhorn Betty, like shit like that. It's weird because it's kind of like all the ones I don't have. So I'm kind of able to put them together. So I want to give a huge shout out to Momming It Up for her hard work and saving those clips because a lot of them can't be viewed anymore. A lot of them can't be viewed anymore. So yeah, you're stuck with me this evening. I hope that you enjoy tonight's stream. So here is this video. I'm going to put it out on my other channel. I just haven't made the thumbnail and stuff yet. Exactly, Gypsy. It's crazy. So it's momming it up, and the mods will share her link. We've been sharing it all day. Hey, Pine. Good to see you. Feisty says momming is awesome. It is. It's momming it up. She's a very good resource because she saved a lot from the very beginning. So I'm going to share with you. This is what we're going to call Seth Says. I know it is cute, momming it up. She's really super sweet and really super smart. And like, she really picks up on a lot of stuff. So her commentary on her clips is definitely worth watching. Also, if you go back and watch her full videos, I really suggest that you pause and read the screen. Yeah, tell her Jay sent you too. But read her read her what she puts on the screen and listen to her. Right, because yes, because there's been a lot of deleted videos, especially from Terry Lynn. Terry Lynn deleted a ton of videos. So let's get into tonight's presentation. We're going to call this Seth Says, episode number 1695.
I'm a suspect. I was the last one to this stupid fucked up party. I'm not an easy person to get along with, but neither is my ex-wife.
Got there. What did Katie personally tell you happened? Did you guys talk when you got to the house?
When I got there, I assessed the situation before I walked in. There was law enforcement was everywhere, in and out the doors, so on and so forth. By the time I got there, the dog people were there and the drone people were there. I was the last one to this stupid fucked up party. I'm not an easy person to get along with, but neither is my ex-wife. The divorce was kind of horrible.
Okay, so we're already off track. We've gone from Sebastian to the divorce was horrible. Now, the reason I find all of this stuff so interesting is because she deleted a bunch of texts too. Yeah, but I find this really interesting because the date February 26th is so etched in my brain as the day that Katie filed for divorce and the day that Sebastian went missing. The bitterness, the raw emotion, and the anger that Seth Rogers feels when talking about his marriage is so important. And I say that because there are those three distinct emotions. You see, happiness when he recalls these memories. You see anger at sometimes when he speaks about Katie. Now that, she's with Chris with, these medications that Sebastian was on, et cetera, et cetera. And then we have, the sadness of missing. So here we go. Seething. Yes. Seething Seth.
I mean, she accused me of some nasty things. And I'll tell you right now, if people really want to look, they can look at mine, because all of my declarations aren't written by me. I refuse to write anything bad about that lady. I refused. What happened behind closed doors? What she put me through? The hell that she put me through? I didn't have a thing. I mean, we're talking about, I was 7 years without a girlfriend after the divorce. I didn't even, I wasn't looking for it. No. I mean, it takes time to heal from trauma, from abuse.
I'll be stripped away.
Okay, hold on. This is a lot to unpack. He's claiming in here, you can read my declarations. But then he says, I went 7 years. No girlfriend, nothing. I never got the bitter ex-wife vibe from Katie. Never. Never. She's clearly moved on. I don't think it's just an opportunity to bash her. I think this could be a foundation, if you will.
I didn't have a thing. I mean, we're talking about, I was 7 years without a girlfriend after the divorce. I didn't even, I wasn't looking for it. No. I mean, it takes time to heal from trauma, from abuse.
I'll be stripped away. and I want to strip it away a layer even more. And
Okay, so now we're going to Coffin Daffer. We go from Bullhorn Betty, or I think that was Bullhorn Betty. Yeah, Bullhorn Betty's interview to Coffin Daffer. Now, what I want you to pay close attention to is you see his face here? Somber, right? But wait and see how his face changes as Coffin Daffer asks him these questions.
And I want to strip it away a layer even more. And I want to meet Sebastian. I want to meet him right now. Actually, the thumbnail that's going to come up, it's not up yet, but it's been finished. It's beautiful, with beautiful pictures that you provided. So I first want to talk about Katie in a different light. I want to talk about Katie in terms of when you all got married.
Okay. When she says, I want to talk about Katie in a different light, watch his mouth drop. His jaw drops.
I want to talk about Katie in a different light. I want to talk about Katie in terms of when you all got married. I just want the audience to understand there was a time when things were good. There was a time when you wanted to join in matrimony and have a family. So can you bring us back sort of to that day when it happened and so on, and just bring us up into the time?
Married the day after my birthday. We got married June 21st, 2008.
So for someone who didn't remember that February 26th was the date that Katie filed for divorce, you know, Katie who's moved on, Katie who has another husband and a whole nother family. But he remembers a lot of dates and a lot of details. Okay. But he says when he's asked, I don't remember if that was the day she filed. I'd have to look at my paperwork or my email. No, he didn't even let her finish, dude. He could not wait to talk about Katie. Watch again, guys.
And just bring us up
We
into
got
the time.
married the day after my birthday. We got married June 21st, 2008. It was a very hot summer day. I remember our vehicle didn't have air conditioning. I didn't get to spend the night at my house, so I was over sleeping on a couch at a friend's house because I can't be in the house with the bride the night before the wedding. Kind of particular. So yeah.
I wonder whose couch he slept on. A friend's couch. Must have been in Texas or Virginia.
And literally the stress of it all, I actually had a migraine the whole night. So it's not like I got to do anything fun or exciting. I was sitting there like, I need water, I need ibuprofen, and I need my head smashed in with a hammer.
What did you wear? Traditional tuxedo?
My head smashed in with a hammer. Not to be grotesque, but excuse me, remember on the TBI map, they found a hammer?
Or was it a cowboy wedding? What did you wear?
I wore it was a tuxedo. Well, no, it was a suit, brown suit. She was in a dress, beautiful dress. She was beautiful. I mean, I still remember some of the comments that she made that, she was like, you've never.
Big breath. Let's move on, Jen.
Whoa. Hey, Raquel. Good to see you. Hope you have a good evening at work.
Let's move on, Jen.
So that this night occurs.
Do you see him? Yeah, let's move on. Right. See, Tony cut that shit off, didn't he? He did cut that shit off. I'll have to say, one moment in time, Tony did cut him off. It's very weird. Okay, this is not normal. How many years? 8 years? Right. He's more emotional about her than Sebastian. At least in the public eye. Right? So what does that tell you? What would be more important? Hurting Katie or Sebastian? Something happened to Sebastian.
She was like, you've never
What was he going to say? I'll never forget the words she said. She was like, "You've never told me I was beautiful," or something. What was it, I wonder? Look at him. Hurting Katie.
She was in a dress, beautiful dress. She was beautiful. I mean, I still remember some of the comments that she made. That she was like, She was like, "You've never."
Deep breath. Let's move on, Jen.
So that this night occurs, this
Is that not telling? Gary says, "Oh man, he's got it bad. I'm telling you." So we've seen what scorned people are capable of. No, they have not, DQ. They haven't bashed him at all. Hey, Keisha. I mean, it's really telling. We could have, someone, Sebastian, in my opinion, went with someone he knew. But for him to be more emotional, more upset over his son being missing. No, this is the sobby Seth, okay? This is the, oh, I'm remembering good memories. He gets very angry about her as well. Don't fall for the sob story act. Because you see him all over the place, like I said. 3 distinct emotions: sorrow, anger, and happiness, all in one. And when those 3 emotions are linked to one person, it can be detrimental. Exactly, baby Firefly. Happens all the time. Scorned bitter exes will sometimes hurt or use their own children to exact pain and revenge on the spouse they can't get over. Right, no wonder Katie doesn't want to be there alone. Are you kidding? Yes, it is very scary, and we can see it. If you can see it, you can see it. He truly loved Katie. He met her as a 12-year-old little girl, okay? That's not the right kind of love, okay? That's not the love of a husband. You don't meet a 12-year-old when you're 20 to 21 years old. And then 5, 6 years later, marry her. That's weird. You're 21 and you meet a 12-year-old girl that lives next door? What? That's weird. That's not true love. That shit's gross, man. That shit is gross. If you're 21 and you come anywhere near my 12-year-old, even thinking I'm going to hit that when she's 18, get the fuck out. Right? So he's known her since she was 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 6 years until she was 18 and they get married. His thought of love is control. Now, that makes sense, Feisty. I do agree with that. Almost abuse. It's illegal. It's illegal. Right? It's illegal. Okay, let's keep watching. We're only 3 minutes into Seth said.
Beautiful dress. She was beautiful. I mean, I still remember some of the comments that she made. That she was like, She was like, "You've never."
Deep breath. Let's move on, Jen.
So that this night occurs, this is, you love her, she loves her, you loves her, you.
So we go through, we end up getting married, walk down the aisle. My dad actually is the one that walked her down the aisle. Afterwards, we had a little country boil at the back of my parents' house.
So how Hi, legendary CEO. Listen, his dad walked her down the aisle. So was Katie living with them? Met at church? Was that when he worked for the Christian camp, the Christian teen camp that's on his work record? He worked at Christian teen camp or something like that. Christian groom camp. Don't ever send your daughters there, ever. It doesn't matter where they met. She was 12. He was 21. That's gross. I'm sorry. That's fucking gross. And it needs to be talked about. Because if there's a 21 or even, so think about it, when she was 15, he would have been 24 years old. His dad walked her down his aisle. Right. I would like, I love Gary, my Michigander. What the heck is a country boil? Oh, Gary. Okay. So since I moved from Michigan, I've learned it's this nasty shit. Okay. They do it in Louisiana and they do it here in Florida too. It's nasty. They take a big pot of water and they put like lobster, crab legs, whatever mussel, whatever the fuck, nasty seafood in there. And then they put corn and potatoes in there and shrimp. And then
just help a brother
in
out.
Louisiana, they put nasty crawfish, those things that eat off the bottom of the ocean. Like they eat all of the ocean creatures shit. Yes, they put all of that in a big pot of water. And then they cook their vegetables in that nasty. Don't even get me started. I hate these boils. It makes me want to throw up. Blech, blech, blech. And then whole cobs of corn cooked in this nasty fish water. I love you, Louisiana, but I can't do no low country boil. I can't. And I get it. Y'all like that stuff. But why would you use the same water? Like, cool. Make your seafood in one pot and then make your potatoes and your corn in a separate pot. Don't mix that ish. Like, why you want to cook your veggies in nasty fish water? Blit. Okay, so anyways, according to Seth's work history, he worked at a Christian teen camp. I can't remember if that's the exact name. I can actually look it up. So I'll keep playing. And I'll be back. Let me check.
Seth, there are pictures in my wedding album that I still have where I'm walking around with a huge bottle of champagne. And that's what I was drinking on all night.
There are pictures of me. Look how happy he is. Look at the joy in his psychotic eyes when he talks about Katie. Look at him. If y'all can't see it, I don't know what to tell you. What's up, Olip? What's up, Salty Lunatic? So let's see. Seth. Hold on. Where is it? Yep. No, not camp. Sorry. Christian Teen Club is what it says. Christian Teen Club in all lowercase. I hope to God this Christian Teen Club wasn't held at like Robin's house or something. I love where all of you are from. I just don't love those boils. So he was wasted and Katie wasn't even legal drinking age. Yep. Hey, Cricket Day. Are you yourself today, Cricket? Yeah, it does not sound good at all. And it's all lowercase. Christian Teen Club. Why would that say that under his shit? And then it also says, shoot, I closed it. Hold on. That's sketchy as fuck to me. I don't like that. Okay, what does it say? Jefferson Lines, and it says he worked for Bus Lines. That's the only 2 jobs I see here. You have 2 little red potatoes, Legendary. Christian Teen Club, but there's no date, no title or anything. And then Jefferson Lines. It says industry, bus lines, title manager. Interesting, huh? Okay, let's keep going, guys.
While other people were drinking beer, I'm carrying a bottle of champagne around, and my mom and dad got us a hotel room and everything. And we got there. There was some expensive cheese and grapes and stuff like that. And she started watching TV, and I was like, I'm drunk. I'm going to bed. And I don't think she ever really forgave me for it or let me forget it either. But, you know, that was years ago. I mean, and it was shortly after that my family got bigger.
Tell me about that moment, the moment when Katie told you we're going to have a baby.
She told me, and she told me pretty much on my mom's birthday, on April 15th.
There's another date. He recalls every fucking date. Okay? Okay. Yeah, his mom got them a hotel room, probably a wedding gift. Here you go. Y'all are legal.
He was like, hey, I'm pregnant. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a horrible dad. I mean, just it's something I've never been part of. So it's just like, here's another challenge in my life. And I'm probably going to fail at it miserably. So I let my mom know, you're going to have another grandchild. And from there, it, came along. December came around, and my son didn't want to come out. My son was, I want to say 5 days late.
You know why he slept all the time when he was here? I didn't give him sleep aids. Literally was asked.
Oh, shit. Jay is for justice, damn it. Okay, so see how the attitude changes from Coffin Daffer to this? He's all, oh,
Hey,
I'm so happy talking about Katie. But then he starts talking about the medications and the routine at Katie's. When did they get married? Yikes. I don't know what year, Carly, but I believe Katie was 18 years old.
I'm pregnant. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a horrible dad. I mean, just it's something I've never been part of. So it's just like, here's another challenge in my life, and I'm probably going to fail at it miserably. So I let my mom know, you're going to have another grandchild. And from there, it, came along. December came around, and my son didn't want to come out. My son was, I want to say 5 days late.
You know why he slept all the time when he was here? I didn't give him sleep aids. Literally was asked what I did for him to sleep here at my house. And I told law enforcement, hot shower and some sleepy time tea, which is still up there in the cabinet, bought at Walmart. I do it myself so that I can get to sleep a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. That's it. I don't believe in this medication and stuff that he was taking. I never did. And one of the reasons she divorced me is because I refused to sign off on any type of pharmaceutical medication for my son, because I believed in home remedies. He had ADHD, then give him this. Got into arguments with psychologists at the school. You want to give him a cup of coffee every 2 hours. Well, you want to give him a pill every 4. Mm-hmm. I'd rather give him a cup of coffee and his kidneys will filter it out and he goes and takes a leak, instead of building stuff up in the system, and you're giving him Ritalin. You're giving him.
Okay, we got to break this down. Did you hear what he said? He said he yelled at the psychologist at the school. Okay? You got to listen to this. Listen to this guy's attitude. We know now that what he did at the pool because of Aunt, whatever her name was, the friend of Katie's from the military. I can't remember her name. We know that he was like not clothed. So Katie had to make sure he was clothed before, they could enter the apartment. And then they put, Sebastian, he was swimming, and then Seth came out mad, yanked him out by his arms, blah, 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 hit him over the head. We have all the declarations from Katie's protection order. Right?
Then give him this. Got into arguments with psychologists at the school.
got in arguments with the psychologist at the school. He knows more than the psychologist at the school. This is how he was when you met him, Music City. He hit his son in the head in front of the principal. And the teacher requested the principal be present anytime they met with him. Can you imagine Katie being home alone with this creep hanging out at the school, hanging out around Hendersonville, saying that he's looking for, quote unquote, his son? He got kicked off the base in California, I heard, Helen. He got kicked out of the command center for Sebastian. Did Sebastian tell CPS something that pissed Seth off? That made it where he wouldn't get, quote unquote, his son? I wish he'd say Sebastian. Just once. Just once.
You want to give him a cup of coffee every 2 hours. Well, you want to give him a pill every 4. Mm-hmm. I'd rather give him a cup of coffee and his kidneys will filter it out and he goes and takes a leak, instead of building stuff up in the system and you're giving him Ritalin. You're giving him basically pharmaceutical meth. What are you trying to do to our kids? Needed to understand that what happens if something happens to me and all of a sudden he doesn't have insurance anymore, and then all of a sudden he has no idea what meds he's supposed to be on or anything else, and he's got to learn how to take care of himself. He's got to learn to function on his own without the use of medication. And until he was 8 years old, he wasn't on any medication. I refused that stuff. Didn't have a single problem. Had a structure and routine in the house, and he flourished with that. They stress me out. And I'm not a 15-year-old kid. I'm in law enforcement, and I'm literally at DDC with 65 inmates that are either murderers or in there for a long period of time about to go to prison. And those two stress me the fuck out and work them. Wow. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry. This is just one of those. Take a deep breath, relax.
See what I mean? Because he's worked up over the divorce, y'all. I'm telling you, this man is angry. This man is feeling all sorts of emotions. 8 years later, no, he's capable of something horrible. Someone this obsessed that has not moved on from their divorce, cheated on or not. I was cheated on as well. And guess what? Guess what, Seth? I had 3 children under the age of 16. And my husband of 15 years cheated on me, and we got divorced. And guess what? I have no idea what date I filed. I have no idea what date it was final. I remember the year, but I don't remember the date. I hardly remember. I remember the anniversary date, but come on. This is not normal. This is not normal behavior. She didn't choose to marry him, Auntie. She was groomed as a teenager at the Christian Teen Club. Get the hell out of here. Did you say that about Madeline Soto too? Did you say that about Madeline Soto? If Madeline Soto ended up, marrying Stephen Stearns at 18, would you blame her? You got to think about that. Think about Katie being Madeline Soto. Madeline just turned 13. Katie was removed from a home that had SA in it. Katie was Madeline Soto. She survived. And this man, 8 years later, is going to sit here and say all these things when she's moved on with her life and their child's missing? Fucking weird. I did, Kathy. And someone else said, sorry, man, I get pissed off. Our little girls need to be protected, man. He said at 14, he told her he was going to marry her someday. He said he taught her how to drive at 16 because she didn't have parents, and he did all the dad things with her so she didn't miss out. I would love to know where that is. Where did he say that? I need that clip. Well, boys too, but right now we're talking about little girls. Boys as well, of course. But we've got a lot of grown men grooming little girls. And we need to call it for how we see it. Because if you don't think Seth groomed Katie, then Stephen Stearns didn't groom Maddie.
Just help a brother out here.
If you say Katie was not groomed, then you have to say Madeline Soto was not groomed. Because it's no different. It's no different. Oh, it just infuriates me. Thank you, D. Frank. Thank you, Jay, for recognizing what has been obvious from the beginning. Everyone has made excuses for this man because he's the father of a missing child. Well, this is exactly why we need to. Yeah, you know why? Because he's the father of the missing child, who's the one that hurt his shoulder and is the only one searching and is the only one doing this and is the only one doing that. And he got more parrots on his team. So he brings Tony Matheson and all his criminals to get more parrots on his team to parrot his bullshit. Kelly J, but I'll say this. Creators like BJ that are protecting these sick predators make me sick. It's so sad. The shoulder. How did you hurt your shoulder, Seth? Was it on the night of the Ruckus video? Did you hurt your shoulder? And then you're playing it off like you heard it searching. Look how high his eyebrows are. He's really trying hard to convince us. No 22-year-old man has any reason to be sniffing around a sixth grader. And I still want to know what the Christian Teen Club is. I would love to know. He absolutely hates Chris Proudfoot. Let's keep going. Sorry. Let's keep going. We're only halfway through and I've been ranting. Sorry.
They stress me out. And I'm not a 15-year-old kid. I'm in law enforcement, and I'm literally at DDC with 65 inmates that are either murderers or in there for a long period of time about to go to prison. And those two stress me the fuck out and work them. Wow. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry. This is just one of those. Take a deep breath, relax.
And this is probably gonna, my next questions are gonna kind of be geared toward Chris.
He actually had to pound on the, he actually had to like tap, not pound, but kind of tap on the table. What does this man do behind closed doors when he gets pissed off? What does he do behind closed doors when he gets pissed off?
And work them.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry. This is just one of those. Take a deep breath, relax.
And this is probably gonna, my next questions are gonna kind of be geared toward Chris. So, according to Chris, both of you guys spoke, what he's told the world is basically you guys speak regularly. Is that true, and how often?
About Sebastian, yes.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's feeding me a line of bullshit every time I fucking spoke to him.
Oh my God. So remember the plan? Remember the plan? I know, Barbie. It's disgusting. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why you hated me, Gray Pearl. I was always kind to you. It'll stick as long as you're cool. As long as you're cool. I'm cool with you. Jay, you really put it in perspective with the Maddie comparison. Yeah, it dawned on me the other day. I'm like, wait a minute. Katie was Madeline Soto. Thank you, Snazzy. But remember that Chris and him both said they spoke regularly about getting Katie on board to move to Seth's. Now, my theory is that plans changed because CPS showed up, and I feel like, in my opinion, there could have been something going on at Seth's house that Sebastian reported to CPS, and that thwarted the plan. That thwarted the plan, and that pissed him off. That's why he hadn't, in my opinion, allegedly, hadn't seen Sebastian in a couple of weeks. That's my theory. And maybe some of these prisoners that he talks about that are, you know, guilty of murder and shit like that. Where does he say that? Right here. Was there someone that got out of jail that could have helped him? I don't know.
And I'm not a 15-year-old kid. I'm in law enforcement, and I'm literally at DDC with 65 inmates that are either murderers or in there for a long period of time about to go to prison. And those two stressed me the fuck out and worked them.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry. This is just one of those. Take a deep breath, relax.
And this is probably gonna, you know, my next questions are gonna kind of be geared toward Chris. So, you know, according to Chris, both of you guys spoke, you know, what he's told the world is basically you guys speak regularly. Is that true, and how often?
About Sebastian, yes.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's feeding me a line of bullshit every time I fucking spoke to him.
Oh.
And my phone number's still the same. And I know he probably watching, he probably in chat. Hi, Chris. Fuck off. You can call me.
Mm-hmm.
See, Tony, I wanted to bring all of them together. He fucking laughs. Dude, he says Chris was feeding him a line of bullshit every time I fucking spoke to him.
To it. And my phone number's still the same. And I know he probably watching, he probably in chat. Hi, Chris. Fuck off. You can call me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's my key. Fuck off. You can call me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's my key. That's been my key phrase, I guess.
Right.
You know, but that's been my key phrase for a long time, way before my son went off to, you know, play Houdini out of their house.
Before my son went off to play Houdini out of their house. You hear that? Why is Tony laughing? Because Tony doesn't give a fuck about any of this. He doesn't give a fuck about Seth, but you have Brittany J over there. Tony, if you care one iota about Seth, you will back down today. Didn't she just have him on her fucking panel sucking his knob, as Bullhorn Betty would say? Jay, Teen Club is online. Hi, this is a club where any teenager can talk about anything. Wow, that was a lot of any's. You can ask questions about Christianity or talk about anything. Ew. Ew. He doesn't care about any of this. Tony Mathis does not care. He's not a PR person. You don't sit there and laugh. You're getting in the middle between parents that are missing a child, and you're going to get in the middle of this debacle and egg it on? Please. If you have one iota of your heart left, Tony.
He's feeding me a line of bullshit every time I fucking spoke to him. And my phone number's still the same. And I know he probably watching, he probably in chat. Hi, Chris. Fuck off. You can call me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's my key. Fuck off. You can call me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's my key. That's been my key phrase, I guess.
Right.
You know, but that's been my key phrase for a long time, way before my son went off to, you know, play Houdini out of their house. You know, beat me up, Scotty. It's only a Chevy. But I'm just tired of the bullshit. No parent should be going through this. I'm a suspect.
Right. And you have not been cleared?
No, nobody has.
For him to have left between the times of falling asleep and 6 o'clock in the morning, this is straight bullshit. Another day that she, first one was a divorce, way to destroy the nuclear family. Another one to take the last bit of my family away from me.
Hear this? You hear this? Thank you, Snazzy Trinkets. As usual, Brittany has it
Just help a
wrong.
brother out.
If Seth cared about Sebastian, he would have cut out Tony a long time ago. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, they took to the creators that would not call them out, that they could bully, that they could, dupe. Didn't he stay at their house? Yeah, I think we have that on here too. Let's go back and listen to that part again. So she's talking about, or he's talking about the days that ruined his life, what Katie did.
Another day that she, first one was a divorce, way to destroy the nuclear family. Another one to take the last bit of my family away from me. She's good at that. Something I always told my son. There's two things in this world that you can do with these. You can either build or you destroy. Be a builder.
Why is he holding his hands up like that? What is this? What the hell is this, Seth? Why are you, what is, there's two things you can do with these, son. I mean, what the fuck, man? Did that creep anybody else out or just me? Roxanne, who are you talking about? Stop thinking about Seth and put Sebastian first for once.
Family away from me. She's good at that. Something I always told my son. There's two things in this world that you can do with these. You can either build or you destroy. Be a builder. Don't be a destroyer. That's not gender specific either. That's with everybody. The only person that has an input on it would be his mom and me. We run the show to find our son. I don't care if you're married to her now or not.
Oh.
A united front is not me and the stepfather working.
Hear this? I don't care if you're married to her now or not. I don't care if you're married to her or not. No respect. None. None. He wants Katie alone. He wants Katie alone. And it's not gender specific. Look at even the captions got it. He wants her alone. Irony Rose, does she need to be timed out? She's a Britney gal. Let her spew. It's fine. It's good for engagement.
It's with everybody. The only person that has an input on it would be his mom and me. We run the show to find our son. I don't care if you're married to her now or not. A united front is not me and the stepfather working to find my son. It's me, the mother, and her husband working to find our son. But he needs to learn how to support his wife in a supportive role while she looks for her son. But I don't see that. You know, the only support I have are some of my close friends.
You have.
Hey, Net Detective, you just got timed out. Please don't come to my live stream and tell me what to talk about, how to feel, what's too much. If you don't like it, click to another channel, Net Detective. You're welcome back, but you're not welcome back to tell me what to do in my house. And this is my house. And if you don't like it, get the fuck out.
What was it like when you arrived at the home outside of the craziness from law enforcement? You know, what was the behavior of the people, Katie and other people that were there?
When I walked in, Katie said something to me and then shoved her phone in my face. There was a picture of Sebastian, the one that you see him with his optimism shirt on. Started kind of confused me on why she's shoving a picture of Sebastian in my face. I know what my son looks like.
Do you know why she did that?
No, still don't know why. I'm looking to see what I can see. Obviously, my son's not there. Turned around and I was there for a little bit, just enough to talk, to find out what was going on, to find out if they had any evidence or if anything, to hear the evidence that was being said. And then I jumped in my truck and started looking for my son. Kind of hard to explain. But
was she acting normal?
Her phone in my face, had a picture going, see, we're at BJ's yesterday and everything was fine. And I'm like, trying to prove something to me. That's not how you.
Odd statement.
It's not how you prove something to me. Most of the time, the people that came over.
What does that mean? It's not how you prove something to me? Yeah, he did a lot of listening. The ding dong is, I don't know, text or something. I don't know. In the beginning, he said he was asleep in his truck when Chris got home, and then him and Chris went searching together. I don't know if that was on day one, though, was it? I don't think on day one they were able to leave. Why would he be able to leave? I was there for a little bit, like he's law enforcement. Like, oh, I was there for a little bit, and then I left.
It's not how you prove something to me. Most of the time, the people that came over, I was just sitting in a chair. People kind of looked at me, and then they would have their conversations with Chris and Katie and Kathy and whoever else was there. There was some introductions, but I'm not one of those people who just appear to be concerned.
I need
Some
to
of them
know
brought
what
the
everybody
video
thinks.
footage over for Chris to look at. So Chris got to see all the video footage, and I didn't get to see shit.
You hear this? Chris got to see all the video footage. I didn't get to see shit.
I
Some
need to
of them
know what
brought the
everybody
video
thinks.
footage over for Chris to look at. So Chris got to see all the video footage, and I didn't get to see shit.
That's quite.
Still in the dark.
That's quite interesting. What was your relationship like with the Proudfoots, with Katie and Chris?
I'm not an easy person to get along with.
Did Katie file for divorce on February 26th?
I have no idea. I'd have to pull out the records and take a look at when she filed for a divorce.
Well, somebody is.
What do you guys think? So at the very end here, he's like, I have no idea. I'd have to pull out the records. Now, if we go back here, right off the rip on, is it Coffin Daffers? He knows every date, his parents' birthdays, the day that Katie knew she got pregnant, yada, yada, yada.
The day after my birthday, we got married June 21st, 2008. It was a very hot summer day. I remember our vehicle didn't have air conditioning. I didn't get to spend the night at my house, so I was over sleeping on a couch at a friend's house because I can't be in the house with the bride the night before the wedding. Kind of take the risk. So yeah, and literally the stress of it all. I actually had a migraine the whole night, so it's not like I got to do anything fun or exciting. I was sitting there like, I need water, I need ibuprofen, and I need my head smashed in with a hammer.
What did you wear? Traditional tuxedo? Or was it a cowboy wedding? What did you wear?
I wore it was a tuxedo. Well, no, it was a suit, brown suit. She was in a dress, a beautiful dress. She was beautiful. I mean, I still remember some of the comments that she made, that You know, she was like, she was like, you've never.
Deep breath.
Deep breath, says Tony.
Let's move on, Jen.
So that this night occurs.
No, he said, let's move on, Jen, in that one. The other one was take a big, deep breath. Big, deep breath, Seth. All right, let's move on. We got one more video that we have not talked about yet. This one I'm calling Seth Says. And this one we're going to talk about, well, let me just play it through. It's only 2 minutes long, and then we'll play it through and discuss. I know. I'll show you what a real man does, boy.
Seth says,
I've been at work since, I've been clocked in since before 7, but I've been at work in the parking garage since about 6 o'clock the night before. And I told him they can call and verify where I've been at. On where I'd been, I told him I'd been at work since, I've been clocked in since before 7, but I've been at work in the parking garage since about 6 o'clock the night before. And I told him they can call and verify where I've been.
What more do you want from me? I was at work. I was video camera from 6 p.m. till after 7 a.m. the next morning. You know, my son should be with me right now.
And, you know, if the video evidence, the phone data, and whatever else they may need isn't enough, then we'd simply like us to tell them, you know, why is it that he hasn't been cleared?
Where were you when you found out that Sebastian was missing? And who called you? What was that conversation like? And then sort of what happened next there?
Seth says it's...
Made it out to the parking garage. When I got in my vehicle, I saw I had a missed call and a text message. Christopher Proudfoot. Text message was a 911, so I called immediately, and he's the one that told me that Sebastian was missing.
And how much detail did he give you about what happened, and how would you describe that moment, that call?
Wasn't much detail except for Sebastian. Except for he said Katie woke up, Sebastian's missing. So I left the parking garage and headed straight to her house.
And how far are you from the house?
About 45 minutes from downtown correction center to their house in Henderson, Sumner County.
Okay, so now you respond. You're on that 45-minute ride there. Are you talking to anyone, or are you just pedal to the metal trying to get there?
Nah, I'm trying not to get a speeding ticket.
I get that, but I mean, are you just focused on getting there, or?
Let me just say, this dude has so many reckless drivings on his record. His son's missing, and he's all of a sudden worried about driving well.
Are you calling his mom to get more details?
No, I'm just focusing on traffic to get there as fast as possible. Did I form an opinion? Yeah, I formed an opinion.
Yeah, so have we. So have we. We formed an opinion. Okay? Let's listen again. Oh, yeah, this is the Chris Watts. Is this what you sent me? The screenshot? Listen, Irony. Listen, Irony. I gave you a shot, but you're not going to sit here and say I'm disappointing and shit. Do I have a moderator in here? Olip, can you get rid of, what's her name? Irony Rose or Gypsy Rose Irony? Jeffrey Dahmer type? I don't want someone sitting here telling me, oh, I don't understand her behavior. If you don't understand it, then if you don't want to try to understand me or hear me out, just leave. Be gone with yourself. Thank you, Olip Juice. How are you doing, Olip? Gypsy Rose. Bye, Gypsy Rose.
6 o'clock the night before, and I told him they can call and verify where I've been at. On where
Okay, here we go. Let's go back to the parking garage. Choo-choo, choo-choo. Good to see you. Not today, Satan. Not today. Hey, Ryan Apple Snapple. Apple Schnapple. Jeffrey Dama kind. I know I'm playing his own words, and people are getting mad at me. Auntie Reese says I get yelled at by Jay all the time. You know, I mean no harm. I just get passionate, dude. You know I love you guys. Now listen, if he was in the parking garage before work, did someone clock his ass in? Did someone clock him in? Listen.
Seth says,
I've been at work since I've been clocked in since before 7, but I've been at work in the parking garage since about 6 o'clock the night before.
Why were you in the parking garage and clocked in? Thank you, Froggy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in the parking garage since 6, but why were you clocked in? Did someone clock your ass in? He said, Chris said, don't be mad. Yeah, he didn't say that in these ones. You hear what I'm saying?
Seth says,
I've been at work since I've been clocked in since before 7, but I've been at work in the parking garage since about 6 o'clock the night before. And I told him they can call and verify where I've been at. On where I'd been, I told him I've been at work since I've been clocked in since before 7, but I've been at work in the parking garage since about 6 o'clock the night before. And I told him they can call and verify where I've been. What more do you want from me? I was at work. I was video camera from 6 p.m. till after 7 a.m. the next morning. You know, my son should be with me right now.
And, you know, if the video evidence, the phone data, and whatever else they may need isn't enough, then we'd simply like us to tell them, you know, why is it that he hasn't been cleared?
Where were you when you found out that Sebastian was missing? And who called you? What was that conversation like? And then sort of what happened next there?
Seth says, it's
made it out to the parking garage. When I got in my vehicle, I saw I had a missed call and a text message. Christopher Proudfoot. Text message was a 911, so I called immediately, and he's the one that told me that Sebastian was missing.
And how much detail did he?
Okay, before we move on, my question is, Auntie Ree, what did Seth do Sunday? He says he got to work at 6. Where was he before then? Because remember, they came out later asking for surveillance footage around the Proudfoot's house earlier in the day on Sunday. At first, they just wanted it that morning. Then they were like, oh, we want footage from earlier in the day because, in my opinion, someone was there checking out the cameras. Clocked in and left. Maybe. They wanted security footage from the neighbors from that day. He's never said exactly what his job is. He said, well, he lies. He lies. He says, I'm law enforcement, you know, deputy sheriff. And it's just like he always inflates what he really is. You can't believe him. And Auntie Ree says, I mean, he hasn't explained a thing about that hour before work. And nobody's asked him. No one asks him anything. What did you do all day Sunday? Where were you? Because he's like, I haven't talked to him since Thursday. They should have video from inside the parking garage, but do they? Right, he could be a janitor, for God's sakes. Exactly, Flo. Why is he always in the parking garage? Mrs. Smith, have y'all seen SF Investigates tweet from May 31st asking Seth if he remembers the babysitters? There could be a big investigation going on here. And we'll get into the electronics in just a minute.
He give you about what happened, and how would you describe that moment, that call?
Wasn't much detail except for Sebastian. Except for he said Katie woke up, Sebastian's missing. So I left the parking garage and headed straight to her house.
And how far are you from the house?
About 45 minutes from downtown correction center to their house in Henderson, Sumner County.
Okay, so now you respond. You're on that 45-minute ride there. Are you talking to anyone, or are you just pedal to the metal trying to get there?
Nah, I'm trying not to get a speeding ticket.
I get that, but I mean, are you just focused on getting there, or are you calling his mom to get more details?
No, I'm just focusing on traffic to get there as fast as possible. Did I form an opinion? Yeah, I formed an opinion.
How many of you have formed an opinion tonight? How many of you have opened your minds to other possibilities tonight, which is not a bad thing? And I'm not saying my theory is true. I have a lot of theories, but we have a lot of Seth says to hear. He never answers the questions.
Creep Town, dude.
Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, isn't it weird? You're going to drive for 45 minutes.
Creep Town, dude.
And you're not going to call anyone? You're not going to call anyone? You're not going to call and say, did he get there yet? You're going to drive 45 minutes and not wonder if he made it back home or if they found him? Isn't that weird? It's almost like he waited for that text. Like he knew that text was going to come. Bing bong. Here's my opportunity. I get to see Katie. It gets to be me and Katie fighting for our son. Not Chris Proudfoot, but Katie and I. And I've said this for a long time. It was a way for him to get back with Katie, to be with her. He thought they would be arm in arm for Sebastian. It didn't go that way. It's very odd. So these next statements are going to be about the GoFundMe and the seized electronics.
Chris, Katie spoke with me, and we agreed not to do a GoFundMe for finding Sebastian Rogers. And my sister asked if she could start a GoFundMe just for me to help pay my bills while I'm looking for Sebastian.
After Chris lost his cool.
Okay, so see how Chris came out? We all jumped on Chris Proudfoot for being a dick. Can you blame him? Listen to this.
On me.
Chris, Katie spoke with me, and we agreed not to do a GoFundMe.
We agreed not to do a GoFundMe. 3 days in, they told him they would get a lawyer. Why did he need bill money 3 days in? 3 days in, why did you need bill money? That's weird. But this is why Chris Proudfoot had fucking had it from the word jump.
Me.
Chris, Katie spoke with me, and we agreed not to do a GoFundMe for finding Sebastian Rogers.
See how he says that? For finding Sebastian Rogers? So that's why I made it for bill money? No, I think they told Seth right off the rip, we're not doing GoFundMes. I think they were telling the truth. I think they were telling the truth. Things fell apart 3 days in. Why would you agree and then do it anyway?
Me.
Chris, Katie spoke with me, and
We agreed not to do a GoFundMe for finding Sebastian Rogers. And my sister asked if she could start a GoFundMe just for me to help pay my bills while I'm looking for Sebastian. After Chris lost his cool, I couldn't stay there after Wednesday.
Lost his cool how? I never heard this.
The GoFundMe my sister set up to help me pay my bills while I look for my son. It was a GoFundMe that my sister set up for me to pay my bills.
Asking about a Cash App, GoFundMe, etc. There is a GoFundMe, and I talked to him about the GoFundMe. And look,
yes, I think Chris and Katie got in front of it. I think Chris and Katie got in front of the grift. Look at his face. They're talking about the Cash App and the GoFundMe. Look at him. I'm sorry, I can't ignore body language. It's not hate. It's just what I see.
GoFundMe's take 50%. So then I said, do you have a Cash App?
He told Justin that GoFundMe's take 50%. No, they don't. They charge a percentage on each transaction. They don't take 50%. He wanted that money to go instantly into the Cash App and the fucking Venmo. He didn't want it to go in the GoFundMe that night. He didn't want it to go in the GoFundMe that night because he'd have to wait for it. He didn't pay Katie child support. Are you fucking kidding me?
And he doesn't really manage that himself. He'll tell you that. He'll tell you that right now. But his friend is helping him with it. So
for my son, it wasn't set up as a reward. It wasn't set up as anything else. People want to know what happened to it. It was donated. I haven't seen either.
See this? It wasn't set up as a reward. Shame on him. And y'all think that this is hate? And you guys say you care about Sebastian? Sebastian deserved better.
But his friend is helping him with it. So
for my son, it wasn't set up as a reward. It wasn't set up as anything else. People want to know what happened to it. It was donated. I haven't seen anything from it. I used it to pay my bills.
Oops. Damn it.
Me and
so that's the t-shirt site, right? I haven't seen anything from it.
Okay. Well, you can get it on your own then, and yeah, it's a walking billboard at least.
It wasn't set up as a reward. It wasn't set up as anything else. People want to know what happened to it. It was donated. I haven't seen anything from it. I used it to pay my bills. I use it to put gas in my truck so I could drive an hour and a half down there, an hour and a half back to pay my bills. I use it to put gas in my truck.
Yeah, but bills? He was still currently working, like he still would have had a paycheck coming. That's weird.
Truck so I could drive an hour and a half down there, an hour and a half back. People, it's just a little annoying. If the GoFundMe had been put up for a reward, yes, it would have been used as a reward. And
if a GoFundMe had been put up for a reward, it would have been used for a reward. That's what I'm saying. Did someone clock his ass in?
Okay. Well, you can get it on your own then, and yeah, it's a walking billboard at least.
Yeah, there's actually on the Facebook page, there's a lady up here in Clarksville. I think she's charging like $25 for a shirt.
I know that they took your phone and they took Katie's phone for a long period of time. I know Chris got his phone back within a matter of hours.
It says agents are now going over.
Oh, did you hear that? Oh, they took Katie's phone for a long period of time. I know Chris got his phone back within hours. Did you hear me? There's a reason they kept Seth's electronics, y'all. They cleared Chris. Listen to that again.
phone and they took Katie's phone for a long period of time. I know Chris got his phone back within a matter of hours.
Says agents are now going over security video provided by neighbors and some businesses in that area. They are also looking at data from the 15-year-old cell phone and video game system.
We've had all of his electronic devices that have been seized and dumped.
Oh, this is sketchy here. Oh, yeah.
I'm operating 2 phones right now.
No problem.
All right.
We're low key.
I got my phone that I use, and then I have another one that I use at home.
Okay. Yeah, got you. Got you.
You know, the fact is I'm looking for my son. He's not here. Y'all took my electronics. What more do you want? Do they need my bank records?
Because knowing him and his curiosity, he might be there. You don't leave any stone unturned.
Have any knowledge whatsoever about your son's disappearance?
I don't. I found out over an hour after his mother found out he was gone.
The question was, do you have any knowledge? Do you have any knowledge whatsoever about your son's disappearance? And he is so quick to say, I found out an hour later. He was in the parking garage at 6. Clocked in a little bit before 7. If he was clocked in, how did he see the text and the missed call? Can someone tell me? If he was clocked in before 7, why was he still in the parking garage reading his phone? Let me ask one more time. Bing bong. He clocked in before 7. But Chris Proudfoot sent the message. What time? Why is he working 2 phones? No, he clocked in at 7. Oh, 7. Oh, 6, 8. Sorry, I said that wrong. 6 p.m. Well, whatever. 6 p.m. Sorry. Oh, I get you. 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Okay, I was a little confused on that. Sorry. Do you have any knowledge whatsoever about your son's disappearance? And then he says, no, I didn't find out until an hour after. It is confusing. Sorry. Yes, he said he was going to clear a phone and give it to him so he could play Call of Duty Mobile. And I've got more videos I'm working on too.
I don't. I found out over an hour after his mother found out he was gone. Foul play is still negativity. He's out there. We just gotta find him. We haven't found him yet, so we can't give up hope. We still have to keep looking for him until we find him. Where Sebastian's are.
Also, random vehicles coming through their street.
Okay, this is a report where they interviewed one of the Proudfoot's neighbors. Now, what's interesting about this is, see that garbage truck right there? I love when news use specific clips. I love it. There's the garbage truck right there. This is their neighbor. And, you know, when you want to blame Katie again. Oh, and there, look at this. Who are these people? That's right. That's what I wanted to look at. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Okay, anyways.
We just gotta find him. We haven't found him yet, so we can't give up hope. We still have to keep looking for him until we find him. Where Sebastian's are.
Also, random vehicles coming through their street.
People have been coming in almost daily, and they've had to report them to the sheriff's department. They've come in, TikTokers that are nationally known, trying to get pictures of the family and so on, that they've been flying drones over houses.
If we get permission from families.
So this is one person here they show. Play that again. So it sounds like, they did have people driving through and shit in this neighborhood.
Daily, and they've had to report them to the sheriff's department. They've come in, TikTokers that are nationally known, trying to get pictures of the family and so on, that they've been flying drones over houses.
If we get permission from families to go and search your properties or anything like that, we'll go out and we'll look. They said today that they were going to be searching in an area. We took that into consideration and we avoided that area completely.
You met with the biological father and mother this past week. Is that at their request, your request? Is that just re-interviewing them again?
That was at the request of law enforcement. It's not uncommon to talk to the family in investigations like this.
It gives me hope that my son's case isn't going to become a cold case.
Seth said.
Okay, so we have to go back to that. This is interesting, okay? Remember, they brought in Seth and Katie alone. Guys, there's a method to the investigation. They left Chris out and brought Seth in with just his true love, poor Katie, right? She had to go there and meet with them and look at these videos with Seth. And he hasn't really told us much about that meeting. When he was asked about that meeting, he said, I learned a few things, but nothing I can talk about. But they brought just Katie and Seth. So Nick Barris is asking, the biological father and mother met with you this past week. Was that at their request or your request? He said that was the request of law enforcement. No, I think it's a tactic. I don't think Katie can stand Seth, in my opinion. Yeah, and the DA was there for that meeting as well. The DA, Katie, and Seth. You guys ask 8-Ball Cooter a question. 8-Ball is scrolling in the chat.
Biological father and mother this past week. Is that at their request, your request? Is that just re-interviewing them again?
That was at the request of law enforcement. It's not uncommon to talk to the family in investigations like this.
It gives me hope that my son's case isn't going to become a cold case.
Seth tells me the FBI offering a $50,000 reward is great, but wants more from local law enforcement.
I wish that there was agencies that were emotionally invested to do their job.
Seth has hired a private investigator to continue looking for his son.
I will not fail my son.
Well, I feel like they brought Katie and Seth in and used Katie as a tactic. That's my opinion. They were brought in together, and it was not the three of them. It was just the two of them. Seth was kicked out of the command center for taking pictures of their shit. He had his phone out.
That $50,000 reward is enough for someone to come forward with information.
I don't know what's going on, and I'm on a tilt-a-whirl. It's a 15-year-old missing child.
I'm sorry, but he seems to be unraveling here. This was yesterday. I don't know what's going on. The world, it's caving in. I'm telling you right now, the shit is caving in right now. I just feel it. I feel it. He's frantic almost. I don't know what's going on. I'm on a tilt-a-whirl. No, that's a carnival ride. A tilt-a-whirl. It means he's spinning around. A tilt-a-whirl spins around fast. His world is spinning.
Is enough for someone to come forward with information.
I don't know what's going on, and I'm on a tilt-a-whirl. It's a 15-year-old missing child. He's my son.
The Sumner County Sheriff's Office told Fox 17 News, quote, no evidence at this time indicating criminal activity is involved, end quote. Seth tells me the FBI offering a $50,000 reward is great, but wants more from local law enforcement.
Now, do you hear this, sumbitch? Oh, that's great, but we want more. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Oh, it's wonderful that the FBI put a $50K reward out. Yeah, that's great. He is only 30 minutes. He's a liar. All this dude does is lie. No, he said, I feel like I'm on a tilt-a-whirl. I mean, that's a pretty big big explanation there. A tilt-a-whirl. Here, let me show you the tilt-a-whirl. You guys want to see what that is if you don't know? Let me introduce you to the tilt-a-whirl. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm going to go in number one. Watch number one.
Seth is on the tilt-a-whirl. He's spinning out of control. This is how he feels right now. That's what he feels like. He feels like he's on one of those. That's pretty frightening, right? It was slow, huh?
To come forward with information.
I don't know what's going on, and I'm on a tilt-a-whirl. It's a 15-year-old missing child. He's my son.
The Sumner County Sheriff's Office told Fox 17 News, quote, no evidence at this time indicating criminal activity is involved, end quote. Seth tells me the FBI offering a $50,000 reward is great, but wants more from local law enforcement.
I wish that there was agencies that were emotionally invested to do their job.
Let me put it to you like this. If my kid was missing, this is the team I'd want on it.
I wish that there was agencies that were emotionally invested to do their job.
Seth says that
I don't know what's going on, and I'm on a tilt-a-whirl.
Caution there are some social media elements out there who purport to have information that is direct from the investigation. I just want to reiterate that that is not the case. Some of the information that is being provided on some of the social media channels is inaccurate, incomplete. We don't want this to damage the investigation. So we would just caution anyone who is following the case to just use some caution as to what you see and what you believe.
And I'm on a tilt-a-whirl.
Be cautious with what you see and what you believe. Is he rattled or is this just a game? I don't know, Audacity. What do you guys think? I know a perfect clip for Savage. Which one? Which one? The tilt-a-whirl? He says my son so many times. But they're saying some of the information provided by some social media. You want to go back on the ride? Hey, Austin. He's rattled. All right, get your tickets out. Chris and Katie are quiet. His plan isn't working. He wanted Katie alone. Oh, she's referring to Bullhorn Betty. There was stuff slung and flung. Yeah, how can he have a rat tail? I don't know. Seth says, when he says, I don't know what's going on.
This is the team I'd want on it.
I wish that there was agencies that were emotionally invested to do their job.
Seth says that
I don't know what's going on, and I'm on a tilt-a-whirl.
Caution some.
I'm on a tilt-a-whirl, but let's go back to the beginning here. I want to play from the beginning and talk this through again.
On me.
Oh.
Chris, Katie.
I told him to go to bed, and he did. Funnel cake, yum. I want one too, Mrs. Smith.
On me.
Chris, Katie spoke with me, and we agreed not to do a GoFundMe for finding Sebastian Rogers.
I did.
And my sister asked if she could start a GoFundMe just for me to help pay my bills. Well,
see his demeanor here? He says he's law enforcement. Yeah, to barbecue lady, he pulled out his badge. He pulled out his badge, said he was law enforcement. We've got all this money, GoFundMes, Venmos, Cash Apps. No, you're there, Gray. I see you. Just a lot of people chatting. So we're gonna talk through the devices again. But I did see the lip quivering.
15-year-old cell phone and video game system.
We've had all of his electronic devices that have been
in a matter of hours.
It says agents are.
This was crazy.
I think she's charging like $25 for a shirt.
I know that they took your phone and they took Katie's phone for a long period of time. I know Chris got his phone back within a matter of hours.
It says agents are now going over security video provided by neighbors and some businesses in that area. They are also looking at data from the 15-year-old cell phone and video game system.
We've had all of his electronic devices that have been seized and dumped.
1 second.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm operating 2 phones right now.
No problem.
All right.
We're low key.
I got my phone that I use, and then I have another one that I use at home.
Okay. Yeah, got you. Got you.
You know, the fact is I'm looking for my son. He's not here.
The hand on the head again. It seems like every time he tells a fib or gets uncomfortable, Rat Tail, he puts his hand up. You guys notice that? He's on a tilt-a-whirl, and that ride, yeah, there's no carnies around to fix the ride. It's off the rails. Yeah, did he give law enforcement both them phones?
One second.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm operating 2 phones right now.
No problem.
All right.
We're low key.
I got my phone that I use, and then I have another one that I use at home.
Okay. Yeah, got you. Got you.
You know, the fact is I'm looking for my son. He's not here. Y'all took my electronics. What more do you want? Do they need my bank records?
Because knowing him and his curiosity, he might be there. You don't leave any stone unturned.
Have any knowledge whatsoever about your son's disappearance?
I don't. I found out over an hour after his mother found out he was gone. Foul play is still negativity. He's out there. We just gotta find him. We haven't found him yet, so we can't give up hope. We still have to keep looking for him until we find him. Where Sebastian's are.
Also, random vehicles coming through their street.
People have been coming in almost daily, and they've had to report them to the sheriff's department. They've come in TikTokers that are nationally known, trying to get daily, and they've had to report them to the sheriff's department.
This looks like the guy that worked with him, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones and me.
Sheriff's department.
Huh. Is that Turlin's kin? Or is that Karen? And Mr. Jones?
They've come in.
So these motherfuckers were reported, I'm assuming, since they showed them on video?
They've had to report them to the sheriff's department.
They show him so quick, too. This is Seth and his new friends.
They've come in, TikTokers that are nationally known, trying to get pictures of the family and so on, that they've been flying drones over houses.
If we get permission from families to go and search for properties or anything like that, we'll go out and we'll look. They said today that they were going to be searching in an area. You know, we took that into consideration and we avoided that area completely.
I wonder if Seth avoided that area completely or if he showed up where they were searching.
You met with the biological father and mother this past week. Is that at their request, your request? Is that just re-interviewing them again?
That was at the request of law enforcement. It's not uncommon to talk to the family in investigations like this.
It gives me hope that my son's case isn't going to become a cold case.
Seth says that
Seth tells me the FBI offering a $50,000 reward is great, but wants more from local law enforcement.
I wish that there was agents.
Do you guys want to walk through another one of Mom and It Up's videos before we end tonight's stream? I've got one saved. Let me get it. Let me get it. I think it's this one with Nancy. Yes. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. And she has it chaptered. Hold on. She has this one chaptered for our viewing pleasure. Let me put it in. I appreciate y'all too. I'm just hanging out tonight, so I wanted to go through these, and I'd rather watch them with you guys than by myself, so it works for all of us, right? Okay, so we have the intro. Let's see, swimming. Okay, this is interesting. Let's listen to the swimming bit. Let me turn off the volume booster. Hold on.
About like fondest stories. Like what did you guys like doing when he was a kid, when he was a baby?
Swimming. Boy loved to go swimming, and it was great activity. Putting sunscreen on him and then just going. And I've always liked to be a swimmer. Mm-hmm. To me, it didn't matter. Like I swim. When I grew up, swimming was you swam in ponds. You didn't have a pool. You lived in the country, so I swam in rivers, lakes, ponds. If there's something there that'll eat you, you'll find out.
And when he was a kid, when he was a baby.
Swimming. Boy loved to go swimming, and it was great activity. Putting sunscreen on him and then just going. And I've always liked to be a swimmer.
Who you think he? Dude, I'm telling you, this girl has done good work. She put this together 2 weeks ago. This is part 3. Missing truth, a father's accusation. Seth Rogers, Sebastian Rogers, facts matter. How can people who have platforms and influence the public not research? How can you push a narrative and not see all the facts and not care for a victim's family or what this does to the victim once they are found? She even talks about parental abduction, y'all. This was before that even came up. And Seth looks a mess right here. A mess. Yes, swimming when you're a baby. Thank you, Carly. You are always so easygoing and treat everyone kindly. You are appreciated. I yell sometimes, but I don't mean any harm. I don't know, Crazy Moon. It's weird.
Left that home alone.
I have no idea what to think. It's not like him.
Seth, am I missing anything?
I'm missing something. This puzzle just isn't making sense. There's missing pieces to it. There's
There
just
really
missing
are.
pieces.
for my son, and I appreciate it. But at the same time, 1 second.
Oh, here's the phone bit.
I'm
Hey,
operating two
Army.
phones right now.
No problem.
All right.
We're low key.
I got my phone that I use, and then I have another one that I use at home.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha.
Because-
And by the way, I want to say this really fast. I'm not trying to pit you against them.
1 second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm operating two phones right now.
Thank you,
No problem.
Southern. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
We're low key.
That's a nervous laugh.
I got
if
my
ever
phone
heard
that I
one.
use, and then I have another one that I use.
That is a nervous ass laugh. Look at him.
I'm operating two phones right now.
No problem.
All right.
We're low key.
I got my phone that I use, and then I have another one that I use at home.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha.
Because-
And by the way, I want to say this really fast. I'm not trying to pit you against them.
I've been following this search, and law enforcement has done a thorough job of using different assets at their disposal. But the search needs to be expanded. The number one reason that autistic children go missing are runaways, endangered runaways. And once that hits a certain point in time, statistically, it turns into a parent abduction is the number one leading cause.
Before we watch,
Damn, I haven't seen this part.
watch the rest of the clips, let's talk about a few things. Well, for anybody that was looking at this with the right intentions, I can see real serious missing puzzle pieces because this was March 20th. At the same time, we know these other interviews were going on. Everybody was watching each other's YouTube videos.
March 20th. Did you hear me? March 20th. Why? Yeah, because he had diarrhea of the mouth. He was comfortable with Josh from the lab. That's how we met. I yelled at you. No, I fell asleep on you.
With Seth and his call-ins and what was going on in those Facebook groups. But what was happening at that time is nobody was listening to the fact that parental abductions was the second leading cause in this. That is a major red flag. Parental abductions. We know that Seth has said many times how he wants to be alone with Katie, and him and Katie only should be doing these interviews. So if I was Katie, I don't think I would be so eager to be sitting there with my ex. Statistically speaking,
Yes,
that's the reality of the situation. So if you actually sit here and start to listen to all these puzzle pieces and see what's going on, what's been said, ask yourself, why did these creators deliberately ignore these things and remove them and not allow any discussion on them before you want to go out there and demand that law enforcement clear a suspect, before you try to do your vigilante 70s detective work?
The number one reason that autistic children go missing are runaways, endangered runaways. And once that hits a certain point in time, statistically, it turns into a parent abduction is the number one leading cause.
His wife and the stepdad have been calling and texting him, thank you, since around 7 a.m. Gets to his vehicle and realizes
He was comfortable interrupting the Queen, Nancy Grace, to say ex-wife. Who would interrupt Nancy Grace like that? This is his first appearance.
thank you, since around 7 a.m. Gets to his vehicle and realizes his wife and the stepdad have been calling and texting him, thank you, since around 6.
Now remember, this is the first time he's ever been on a very large news show, right? It's kind of like the news. Even though she's a YouTuber now, she gets hundreds of thousands to millions of people all over the globe, not just the United States. And look at the look on his face.
Yes! Oh my
He
God,
had a
girl.
butt in immediately.
Listen, I have not listened to this yet, And this girl is reading my mind. Look at the look on his face.
Look at the look that he gave and how angry he was. When, of course, everybody would know that that's not his wife. As soon as you hear the story or know anything about it, the ex-wife and the stepdad. But look at the anger and how he just could not hold back. He had to butt in immediately.
Have been calling and texting him, thank you, since around 6:20-ish a.m.
I don't know. He doesn't want to use this YouTube either. I just wanted to say, you know, we made this and it's supposed to all be about Sebastian. But he spends hundreds of hours talking to random people constantly and having them go talk for him. But he could just hop on YouTube and talk anytime he wants. And then who cares if you're a suspect? Who cares until your son's home? I mean, who cares? Really? Makes no sense to me. You can monetize it and get tons of money and do whatever you need to find him, right?
I tried to amputate one once. It didn't go so good. I'm going to let you get to bed. I know that you're tired. It's late and that you have a search tomorrow.
I have a search until I find him.
It doesn't end until he's found. And like I said,
Yeah, they were about $400 short of their $25,000 goal in this interview on March 21st, interestingly, because I think it was 40-something thousand when the GoFundMe finally was taken down. And I find that interesting because, you know, there was no more searches. I mean, he allegedly re-injured himself. He called over to JLR and other people to get it on video.
Yes, he did.
That he had hurt himself. And then he stopped searching and Easter happened. Nobody was supposed to search. And then everything was, you know, no searching because he hurt himself. And then it went, oh, we're searching privately, but we never see any videos. I mean, the guy doesn't have tan lines. He doesn't look like he's lost a ton of weight. But, you know.
Yeah, and also when they went out on Tony's quote-unquote boat, right, it was supposed to be 40 people, I think they told the news. And then it ended up, Tony goes, oh, yes, it was me, Seth, and another couple.
When you listen, the definition of searching to him has always kind of been in the truck or being a boss telling people where to go hand out flyers. Because, you know, that's the searching that they're alluding to, right? That's the impression that they give people when they keep saying it repetitively. That's what you take away from it, right? Not really. I'm just being sarcastic because obviously what you take away from it is thinking they're in the middle of the woods battling snakes, spiders, and all kinds of ailments. And that pulls on the heartstrings and you send that money right over. But yeah, I mean, the money was pretty intense, but I just thought it was interesting how they kept insisting that he's searching and doing all these things, you know, adamantly while, I mean, they're on the phone with him 24/7. And then when you met him at the rudder, because they weren't there very long. I mean, I know personally that went to help search and there was nobody there.
All right, I want to read this to you guys. Also, the lady friend who was helping him, the one in Pascal's updates, who was in her PJs at the gas station, apparently was not as interested in a romantic relationship, was interested more in feeling bad for a grieving dad. Some rumors claim he gave $12K to them for bills with their home, but who knows? That's a rumor.
And doing all these things, you know, adamantly while, I mean, they're on the phone with him 24/7. And then when you met him at the rudder, because they weren't there very long. I mean, I know personally that went to help search and there was nobody there. And also there's people that have gone around all over, you know, Clarksville and stuff. And there's not a lot of Sebastian signs up there at all. You would think that they would be everywhere. You would think that Seth's entire yard would have huge banners. And I mean, his car would have a gigantic banner on it. So I don't know where all this money went. I mean, it's quite peculiar. Nobody wears t-shirts, even though they had a lot. I mean, it's just really interesting considering all of this stuff about searching and things.
She says literally hours upon hours of the same claims over and over, replaying the mom and stepfather's interviews. Not one of Seth's has been analyzed the same, but I did.
Like that. And also, it would be so nice one day if Seth would actually answer questions from everybody instead of, you know, going on like a lunatic and demanding everybody be banned. And, you know, maybe if you answer these questions, it would help law enforcement and others clear you. You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think they have a lot more. That means, you know, I don't know. But I'm just saying it might help, you know, to answer some of these questions and, you know, just kind of explain yourself a little bit, you know? I mean, I really want to know about the rental car. I mean, you said the first night you and Chris were out there searching together.
Wait, rental car? What? Do you guys know anything about a rental car?
In the car, and you ended up having to get a rental car. That was when you were first trying to tell people what you need money for. I don't know. It was just weird because
a rental car
for I don't know. It was just weird because what happened to this rental car? I mean, you said that your car was never checked and stuff like that, but I mean, was it taken in? I mean, did they check it, or did you drop it off and get a rental and they never got to get that car? I mean, how long didn't you have your car after your son went missing? You know, like how long? Because I found that to be weird. These are the questions that would really help, I think, the public, you know. I don't know.
And the one thing I believe that would absolutely bring my son home is some good 70s detective work.
Shoe leather.
Maybe
That's why or is that why he said that? Because Nancy said that? 70s detective work. I must have missed that at the beginning. I wasn't paying attention to stuff in the beginning. Where was it mentioned, Choo Choo? Do you remember?
Maybe unethical now, but it sure would work in this case.
A little bit of waterboarding, maybe.
You know, you're not the first person that said that.
I'm telling you, people. I'm barbaric. I mean, I'm a barbaric woman when it comes to crime and punishments and stuff like that. I'm an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth type of girl. There's no middle of the road for
I
me.
was raised Old Testament. In the end, we all are blind, and justice is blind.
Mm-hmm. Was he going to be a person that was going to need lifelong assistance?
We are all blind, and justice is blind.
Good chance and possibility.
I remember Terry Lynn saying
I really
that.
don't want to say anything bad about his mom, but if you're not willing to do something along the lines of taking care of the child, then you have to do something else to help with the family. And I was going to school full time, I was working full time, and I was taking care of the child full time. And she tried to rock. She slept like a rock when she was with me. And
here we go. Here's another bing bong. She slept like a rock. So Katie probably was sleeping all night, you guys. Like I said, I told you guys this before. He said she slept like a damn rock. She went to bed. She said she went to bed, and she did. Did Sebastian have a burner phone? Come on out, buddy. Let's play a game. Thank you, Choo Choo. I appreciate you. Don't stress it. I believe you. I just wish I could have it.
The child, then you have to do something else to help with the family. And I was going to school full time, I was working full time, and I was taking care of the child full time.
No, it's not that it makes you a bad person, okay, right? She maybe wouldn't have heard anything because she slept like a rock, and he knew that.
And she tried to rock. She slept like a rock when she was with me. And like he
there too long.
It's all right. Don't interrupt the boss.
So yeah, that was. So what are he was about to go to your house. I mean, how was all that? What is his behavior like?
At my house, it's routine. I really don't know too much about their house, but he was getting accustomed to it because every other week coming here or during vacation times and stuff. But he didn't have much of a schedule here.
He just said he had a routine, but he didn't have much of a schedule here.
Unless we were doing things. Because if he was going to be here and he didn't have school, it's like, hey, you can't be up all night. I have to work. You definitely need to be going to bed by like 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. I know you're watching TV, and I know you're playing games on your Switch. And like, if I was at work, I'd just call him from work, see what he's doing, check in on him. And he knew that he needed to make sure his phone stayed charged, and then he needed to answer that phone.
He knew to make sure his phone stayed charged and that he needed to answer that phone. I think he's bitter about a lot of things, Gene. Finances, the marriage, the fact that he doesn't have her anymore. Robin, Seth don't have an idea. What are you talking about? That's a weird statement. 1 or 2 a.m.? Right, because he hit him up that night, y'all. I'm telling you. Listen again.
Switch. And like, if I was at work, I'd just call him from work, see what he's doing. You know, check in on him. And he knew that he needed to make sure his phone stayed charged, and then he needed to answer that phone when it rang.
But you said he needed routine. You gave him routine, and also that he
didn't have much of a schedule here unless we were doing things. Because if he was going to be here and he didn't have school, it's like, you know, hey, you can't be up all night. You know, I have to work. You definitely need to be going to bed by like 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. I know you're watching TV, and I know you're playing games on your Switch. And like, if I was at work, I'd just call him from work, see what he's doing. You know, check in on him. And he knew that he needed to make sure his phone stayed charged, and then he needed to answer that phone when it rang.
But you said he needed routine. You gave him routine, and also that he might need lifelong care. Anybody?
Robin, you've been timed out, officially timed out. You're not going to come here and say the shit you're saying, okay? It's stupid. You know it's stupid. I know it's stupid. You know why you're doing it, and it's not going to work here. Okay? We're watching someone's own interviews. And we're doing theories, right? We're discussing. So Robin, I don't know what your problem is. We got Robin Lee and we got Robin. Mods, you got to get on this a little bit better. Just saying. Where the hell did I leave off? Where did I leave off? Damn it. Robin. Right, it's probably his mom. He doesn't have anything to do with it. Go back to your psychic channel, weirdos. That is so damn weird. That psychic lady, ugh, disgusting.
About his mom. But if you're not willing to do something along the lines of taking care of the child, then you have to do something else to help with the family. And I was going to school full time, I was working full time, and I was taking care of the child full time. And she slept like a rock. She slept like a rock when she was with me. And like he
There too long.
It's all right. Don't interrupt the boss.
So yeah, that was. So what are you know? He was about to go to your house. I mean, how was all that? What is his behavior like?
At my house, it's routine. I really don't know too much about their house, but he was getting accustomed to it because every other week coming here or during vacation times and stuff. But he didn't have much of a schedule here unless we were doing things. Because if he was going to be here and he didn't have school, it's like, you know, hey, you can't be up all night. You know, I have to work. You definitely need to be going to bed by like 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. I know you're watching TV, and I know you're playing games on your Switch. And like, if I was at work, I'd just call him from work, see what he's doing. You know, check in on him. And he knew that he needed to make sure his phone stayed charged, and then he needed to answer that phone when it rang.
But you said he needed routine. You gave him routine, and also that he might need lifelong care. Anybody keeping up with this guy?
It takes forever for it to stop. I have seen him stay awake. Instead of, it's like
Causes them to get in almost a manic type state.
the brain gets like, instead of, it's like the old-fashioned tops, you know, give it a couple, 2 or 3, it spins, and then, but when you break the gears on it, it doesn't stop.
Break the gears on it? Huh? She asked if he was manic.
Instead of, it's like
Causes them to get in almost a manic type state.
the brain gets like, instead of, it's like the old-fashioned tops, you know, give it a couple, 2 or 3, it spins, and then, but when you break the gears on it, it doesn't stop. It takes.
Dude, do you know how you hit a top from the top? You hit it with your hand, like you slap down on the top to make it go. He doesn't understand what. Thank you, Snazzy. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. He is calling Sebastian from work, but I thought they weren't allowed to bring phones. That is why he didn't get Chris's call until he clocked out. Yeah, good question. I don't know. Maybe he claims he uses the jail phone. was? He was trying to explain what? A manic episode? Yeah, but what makes a top spin? You have to fucking hit it. Dude, you have to read between the lines with this motherfucker. Okay, wait. This is why we do this. Don't you like take it with a rope or something, like a string? Hold on. Oh, I guess you don't pound on it. No, you take it with a rope and you spin it out, right?
Just help a
It's just
brother
a
out.
weird. He's weird. I mean, an old-fashioned top, and then he talks about what was the other weird thing he used as a reference? He gets a 30-minute lunch and 2 15-minute breaks in 12 hours? I don't know. He was clocked in before he went in, so that's weird.
The old-fashioned tops, you know, give it a couple, 2 or 3, it spins, and then, but when you break the gears on it, it doesn't stop. It takes forever for it to stop. I have seen him stay awake for 2 days here. He's gotten overstimulated before on road trips, and he'll stay awake for the whole road trip, coast to coast.
Wow. Wow. Well, I could use a driver like that. Just saying. Just saying.
I'm just, you know, I can't even.
Oh, that's funny. Sebastian was so overstimulated, he didn't sleep for 2 days, and this bitch laughs. I could use a driver like that. Just saying. It's disgusting. Yeah, but did you see his motion with his hand? He was thinking the same thing I did. The old-fashioned tops. There was a little metal thing that you push down. I know what he's talking about. He's not talking about the string ones. I'm telling you, I'm not reading too much into it. I've seen the old ones. You push the little metal thing down in the middle and watch his arm movement. It's just like his fucking arm movement. It's just like the Ruckus video arm movement. Whoever that is, allegedly, in the Ruckus video. And he has the injured right arm. I mean, gosh, how many things are going to piece together?
Causes them to get in almost a manic type state.
The brain gets like.
The brain?
Instead of, it's like the old-fashioned tops, you know, give it a couple, 2 or 3, it spins, and then, but when you break the gears on it, it doesn't stop. It takes forever for it to stop. I have seen him stay awake for 2 days here. He's gotten overstimulated before on road trips, and he'll stay awake for the whole road trip, coast to coast.
Wow. Wow. Well, I could use a driver like that. Just saying. Just saying.
I'm just, you know, I can't even. We're not even going to go there. Trying to get.
Your son had some type of brain ailment that you guys learned of, either fluid on the brain or.
He had a pocket of fluid on the right bilateral part of his brain. It's been there since he was born.
Mm-hmm.
You have to watch him, make sure he doesn't suffer any head injuries or anything like that.
Wow. So we just heard about the top motion with the arms, and then now he's talking about the sensitive spot on his brain. It doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense? Is that why Seth would hit him in the back? Right. And Seth would hit him in the head. I mean, you just saw the arm motion. Fuck. I mean,
almost a manic type state.
The brain gets like, instead of, it's like the old-fashioned tops, you know, give it a couple, 2 or 3, it spins, and then, but when you break the gears on it, it doesn't stop. It takes forever for it to stop. I have seen him stay awake for 2 days here. He's gotten overstimulated before on road trips, and he'll stay awake for the whole road trip, coast to coast.
Wow. Wow. Well, I could use a driver like that. Just saying. Just saying.
I'm just, you know, I can't even. We're not even going to go there. Trying to get
That your son had some type of brain ailment that you guys learned of, either fluid on the brain or...
He had a pocket of fluid on the right bilateral part of his brain. It's been there since he was born.
Mm-hmm.
You have to watch him, make sure he doesn't suffer any head injuries or anything like that. It was too big for them to put a
stent.
A stent. It was too. It was not big enough to put a stent in, but still big enough to actually cause damage. If he had, that's why I didn't want him in football.
Right.
I didn't want him putting on a helmet and going, head first into something, because anything that might.
I didn't want him going head first into something.
Cause damage to his head. It's not something like I want my buddy to be safe.
Say, I do work with maximum security, but I guess some of them are the worst of the worst, but they're still human.
Listen to this bullshit. April 3rd. Look at Justin's face when he said, I guess some of them are the worst of the worst, but they're still human. It's kind of like when detectives ask a suspect, what kind of punishment do you think the person that did such and such should get? Right? And usually the guilty party won't say, oh, the maximum. They'll be like, they'll say something else. They test their answer. So listen to Seth again and watch Justin's face. Watch Justin when he says that. Watch him look up and he's like, watch. This is kind of funny.
I do work with maximum security, but
watch Justin.
I guess some of them are the worst of the worst, but they're still human. They're still human too.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
They're there to.
Dude, he's like, what are you talking about? Why are you sympathizing with these criminals? Does anyone else remember the first interview? Maybe with Dolly. Seth said he told his job he would work 24/7, but he needed the weekends off for his son. Nope, I don't remember that. But thank you for your super chat, Robin. There's a lot of Robins in here. Rockin' Robin. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Yeah, maximum security. My arse.
To pay for their crime that they've done. All right. But I'll tell you what. Even criminals have an issue with people that hurt kids. All right.
Absolutely.
So do gangsters. So does the mob. So does everybody normally,
The gangsters and the mob. Now, up here she says, most people have a problem with it. How doesn't this hurt his son? Bashing his mom, sharing private things, using exaggerations to make them even worse.
Just help a brother out here.
No, you don't mess with kids. You don't mess with kids, and you've messed with a kid that is autistic. And the worst thing is that you mess with mine, and I won't stop. I'm not gonna stop. You can't make me stop. You can't threaten me and make me stop. It's not gonna work. Get over yourself. You ain't that important. And I'm talking to whoever's got my kid, whoever's wanting to follow my volunteers around. You're pathetic. And you're a coward.
If you listen to all of the interviews and people that I've talked to him off the record and things like that, when you put all this into context, does that make sense to be talking to whoever has your son, to be saying that people are following and stalking when there's an active investigation, so Ellie is going to have eyes on you? And whoever injects themselves, even if it's out of the kindness of their heart, into the quote-unquote search. Yeah, it doesn't sit right with me. And I don't think it would sit right with a lot of people, how you have discussed all of these things. And if you are so confident that he is okay, and he might be on the move, like we'll hear in the next clip, and that somebody may have him, that we're supposed to believe that you don't have any involvement or any idea about this whatsoever, right? Okay. Noted.
What are some of the things that you guys like to do together? Well, I think one of the favorite things that he likes to do with me is road trips. Me personally, I'm not a fan of road trips. Just he were to drive. Okay, if he were to drive some, that'd be great. But I can't even get him to sit behind the wheel and the vehicle stationary. But he likes to go on road trips with me. He likes it when I take him to go. I mean, he was born in Georgia. Yeah, I'm sure. You're wearing. I'm wearing green. You can really tell, but the shirt that you're wearing. Can you show people that for a second? So this shirt right here for Sebastian, you can get a shirt similar to, I think it's one similar to what you have on. You see what I have scrolling down here at the bottom. It's bonfire.com/Sebastian-Rogers. You can get one of those at the same time. I put Seth's Cash App up here. You can see it too. So if you want to donate to the cause, help the searches. Look, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this man has been out there every single day. He does not sleep. He does not eat. He's definitely not taking care of himself. And searches are expensive. He's not working right now because he's taking the time off to find his son. So if anybody has anything, if everybody between all the platforms that are streaming this right now, that Cash App and donated just $1, it would make a tremendous difference.
This is where he has the handheld fucking vibrator. Oh, Lord, have mercy. I can't. Army Bomb, thank you for your super chat. Do you think Katie may be afraid he will kidnap her too? Is that why she went to Memphis with CP? Just the thought. To make them a family again. Oh, fuck. Bing bong. That's like a Lifetime movie, man. Woo! Do.
What's the push for money? I don't understand this because on March 21st on the lab, he reached the goal of the GoFundMe. And this is April 3rd. Justin from TikTok is still pushing it, and it's way over the 25,000 mark. Not to mention, GoFundMe doesn't take a percentage in the way that they're saying it does, and everybody could easily know that. So I don't understand why Justin and so many creators are so interested in, getting thousands of dollars the way they have been. It's kind of strange. I'm sure law enforcement's looking into all of this, though. I'm sure.
I'm sure they are.
One thing that a lot of people don't know, I've never even shared with you, is Seth and I didn't know this till we started working together, but we actually grew up 15 minutes apart. Mm-hmm. He grew up in a little town called Riverton, Kansas, and I grew up in Joplin, Missouri, and those places are 15 minutes apart. So, we ate at a lot of the same restaurants growing up. So, we have that now to go back and talk about, even though we have the history beyond a month or so.
Right. To see your son walk out of the restaurant, can you tell me what was the first thing that you noticed when you saw that video?
He's alive. It was literally just a proof of life video.
What was his demeanor like?
There wasn't enough for me to tell.
How about the clothes that he was wearing? Were those, I think you've already answered this, but just for my clarification.
Chris answered that question.
Huh?
Chris answered that question.
What did Chris say? I
Chris said that they used his clothes from the night before for the scent dogs.
Okay, gotcha. Did anything appear?
Chris answered that question. Wow.
Odd or out of place when you were looking at that video?
Didn't pay that much attention. I was just happy to see that.
Gotcha.
Don't forget that he thought it was odd that Katie was crying and showing him the last picture of Sebastian, even though that's what law enforcement would be requesting is the most recent picture. He earlier was, upset about that. I just want you to also pay attention to his demeanor. Look how upset he gets. Look what he does with his hands and his fist and stuff when discussing being a suspect. And how angry he is that he's still a suspect. I think it's because he knows that Chris and Katie, he was told they aren't, obviously, because they got visitation with their little girl.
I agree.
Do I wish I had that video so I could sit there and just look at it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'm not law enforcement in this case.
Or any case, because you're a correction officer, you're a rookie.
I'm a suspect.
And you have not been cleared?
No, nobody has.
If you had a list...
I think it's kind of hilarious, but,
And actually, I'm going to kind of go on.
What's he looking at? Why is he do that with his hand on his head? After not saying he hasn't been cleared.
Sir, you're a rookie.
I'm a suspect.
And you have not been cleared?
No, nobody has.
If you had a list,
I think it's kind of hilarious, but you know.
Thank you, Roxanne.
and actually, let me just, I'm going to kind of go on a little tangent here, but just to clarify, where do you work?
I work for Davidson County Sheriff's Office.
And what is your job or your job title?
Deputy Sheriff, and I work in the Corrections Department.
And where were you the night that Sebastian disappeared?
At work.
And you said you were at a
Correction Center.
And so you were at a jail.
Yeah, I was in jail.
So you were in jail. And I'm sure there's probably, with it being a jail, it's a very secured area.
Oh, yes. I am on camera arriving at 6 p.m. into the garage, which is a secure garage. You have to have badge access to get in or out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm leaving at like 7:30 the next morning.
Gotcha.
That's his camera proof? What is coming in and out of the fucking garage? Hold on. He's not a sheriff. Listen. He just said the cameras have him arriving at 6 p.m. and leaving at like 7:30 the next morning. What happened to all night? What happened to... Oh, wow. Okay,
Just
listen.
help a brother out here.
Yeah, I was in jail. Thank you again, Roxanne Polk, for your super sticker. I appreciate it.
And you said you were at a
Correction Center.
And so you were at a jail.
Yeah, I was in jail.
So you were in jail.
They all laugh like Betty was.
And I'm sure there's probably, with it being a jail, it's a very secured area.
Oh, yes. I am on camera arriving at 6 p.m. into the garage, which is a secure garage. You have to have badge access to get in or out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm leaving at like 7:30 the next morning.
Gotcha.
I am on camera arriving at 6 p.m. into the garage, which is a secure garage. You have to have badge access to get in or out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm leaving at like 7:30 the next morning.
Gotcha.
Exiting out of the garage.
If you had to list Sebastian's favorite activity.
There's his hands on his head again. Southern-ish, coming in hot. If I didn't have much time with my kid, I'd be taking as many photos of my kid as possible. Weird, he hardly has any of them. I know. Any of him from when he was little. That's it, baby. Baby pictures. I think there's a lot more to this man that we don't know. I think there's a lot more to this man that we don't know. I think that all of the divorce paperwork and things that we've learned, sadly, I feel like are the tip of the iceberg. And I'm not saying that because I don't like him. I'm saying it because this is what I see.
Activities to his least activities. Which would those be?
For him to have left between the times of falling asleep and 6 o'clock in the morning, this is straight bullshit. And she knows that's how I feel about it.
Have you been involved or heard of any other incident where he disappeared or got lost in the
Just help a
past?
brother out here.
Never.
Betty,
Is there... Mhm.
I will tell you that I had a private conversation initially with CP and KP, and I asked them very directly, and I know there's been some contradictions, but I asked them if it was normal for him to just walk out of the house regardless of the time of day, and they both...
Did he not say in the beginning that the time frame law enforcement didn't want leaked out? So how is he so confident he knows for a fact how Katie's not honest about the time frame? See, these things are big red flags if you actually want to go back and look at some of these puzzle pieces. And, just saying, he works maximum security. He goes on tangents about how they don't like people that are bad to kids. And apparently his mom came right out the gate while he sat there listening, saying how bad Chris and Katie were to kids. And
Ooh, she has a good point. She has a really good point. He made a fact to say, oh, you don't mess with kids. And then his mom coming out saying that she was keeping a secret of abuse, right?
Medications and all kinds of stuff. Said that Katie divorced him because of his not wanting to use any kind of medications and how upset he was about that. I mean, we know he was upset about the therapy and stuff. He thought that he could get a different type of ABA. He didn't like the types of therapy that Sebastian was given, even though he listed a lot of them. He never agreed, and it makes me wonder, really. I mean, I'm an RBT. I have a nonverbal autistic child and have a lot of kiddos. And I've had to change my career, and that's what you do, right? So I find a lot of these things interesting to me because I know there's some non-traditional, non-modern, pretty awful sounding ABA therapy and stuff. Like the electric shock therapy that still happens in one of the schools in Connecticut, and interesting stuff going on in Kansas that Tony and him were thrilled about too, if you want to go back and look into that. But anyway,
Wait, what? Something about Kansas that him and Tony were thrilled about. Is that the farm that Terry Lynn was talking about? That Tony wanted to buy a farm and put people on it? What the fuck?
I think this is interesting, the divorce date, everything's, all these puzzle pieces, Seth, that you've left out here. I don't know why you would do that. I really don't. And it's very disturbing. And now you want everybody to go out and demand that law enforcement wrap up a case. And really, I'm going to stop rambling. And don't forget to let me know in the comments what you think about everything.
Rambling.
And,
do you not love her rambling?
We don't know. We don't have all the answers. There's probably tons we have no idea about. So I'm not accusing him. I'm just saying. I wonder what he's reliving, when he starts getting so angry and he starts making a fist and looking at his fingers, or his first live on his channel where he had his hands around his neck. And, what are you acting out that you're remembering? Because, every time you're asked a question, you don't answer the question. You always go into all different types of details, which, that's not a good sign.
Isn't it nice to be validated, though? We've been gaslit over questioning this man for months. And to have someone that I found out of the blue, this has been up since August 12th, only 791 views. But it's crazy, is it not? Because we were gaslit, we were, told that we were hating on him and made to feel guilty, and all the heartstrings were being pulled. Just because we looked at all three people, even after knowing that Seth lied and did all of these sketchy things that no one can deny, but they overlook. They act like it didn't happen. Why? I've seen so many people say, well, I think he's sketchy, but I don't think
just help a brother out here.
Why? What gives you that? If you think he's sketchy, why do you think he had nothing to do with it? Or do you not want to admit it? Yeah, something about a farm. She had texted me something weird, like, wait till I tell you about this farm that Tony wants Seth to buy or something. But I never talked to her about it, so I never talked to her again. Thank you so much, Shell, and I hope you're doing good, hon. I know, Cheryl, they are. Good to see you, Auntie Cheryl. I hope you're doing good after your surgery. Yeah, do you remember the farm thing? I know Momming It Up is awesome. Don't feel like a dumbass at all. I don't want anyone to feel dumb. I think that, a lot of people, sometimes it takes people time, and you have to see more things. It's just all based on life experience, I think. And I've been around people like Seth, unfortunately. So maybe I can see through it a little bit better. I don't know. And no one has really said anything bad about him. We're just, talking about his words and his stories. And where was Tony February 25th and 26th? Good question. As a matter of fact, with that being said, I'd like to take a moment right now, and I don't care if you're religious or not, because I'm not, but I all of a sudden, for some effed up reason, feel inclined to do this. Okay? Can we take 1 minute here to send prayers, thoughts, whatever it is you believe in, whatever that higher power is? Can we take 1 minute and send your wish that the truth will be exposed in this case? And the truth will be exposed for Sebastian. I just feel the need, like, we have 700 people here. I'm not trying to be a goofball.
Just help a brother out here.
But I just want to take this minute and take the energy that we have right now and put that up, okay? So I'm going to be quiet for 1 minute. Put that energy towards Sebastian, the truth, building up law enforcement, and really, weeding out the bad from the good. Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. I just think it's important. I don't know. I just felt like this need to bring us all together and just put that out there in the universe. God opens the eyes of people that are blind. I don't know. You just go with what you feel. You know what I mean? That's why this is why I do things my way. I'm not here to hate Seth. He doesn't have to watch me. I mean, let's be for real. His kid's been missing for 6 months. The last thing Seth Rogers should be worried about is me or any other creator. It really shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't be a thing. And every time Tony Mathis talks, all he talks about is creators. And I'm going to warn you guys right now because my radar went up. We're going to change the subject for 1 second to Stephen Crabtree. No disrespect. I don't know him. I did reach out to him. I wanted to have him on. We never linked up for whatever reason. I mean, it wasn't lack of trying. He did call me and leave a message. It was just a crazy time. But now I see he's got a YouTube channel. And I think that's a little sus. And I'm going to tell you why. The dude signed a contract with Tony Mathis. Anyone who would sign a contract, especially a man, who would sign a contract with Tony Mathis and, get backed into this corner to have to defend his own, what do you call it? Like, to defend himself. Like, he had to go back and go, oh, I should have done. Like, Tony put him in a position to look like a total schmuck. Thank you. Schmuck. So my feelings are this. Because if you will sign a contract
help a brother
with Tony
out.
Mathis, if you'll do that, you'll fall for fucking anything. Yeah, defending his reputation. Right. Yeah, I don't like it. And I think he's over here to infiltrate the tubes, to take the focus away from us creators that spread the narrative that they don't like. Tony lies. Tony lies. I don't care what he says. I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. So now he's over here with his YouTube channel talking about Tony. But if you notice, all Bullhorn Betty talked about today was Stephen Crabtree. He's not protecting himself, I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now. Bullhorn Betty, all about Stephen Crabtree, wanting everyone to go watch Stephen Crabtree. I'll tell you why. I think they still are in with each other. I do. He's all fucking attacking Tony and all this stuff. I think it's a game. And I think it's in order to get him infiltrated here on the tubes to take away from the creators that are exposing the bullshit. Don't trust someone who would sign a contract or work with Tony Mathis. Especially a man. You gotta be smarter than that shit. You gotta be fucking smarter. In cahoots. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Be skeptical. I'd rather be skeptical than played. Fuck that. Don't get played. Don't get played. Yeah, more distractions. And the girls, oh, he's so hot. Oh, he's solid. The fuck he's solid. Any man who's going to work in cahoots with Tony Mathis put out fake information about the store across the street from Sebastian Rogers' school is not solid. Crabtree and Terry Lynn are tight. That's all you need to know. There you go. Terry Lynn Kin. I don't know who Craig and Tim are, but if he's Terry Lynn, Terry Lynn said yep. He's Terry Lynn's kin. There you go. Bing bong. Bing bong. He's over here to distract because they're spiraling. And I'm telling you, it's a game. Why does he need to be on YouTube? Why doesn't he just continue his TikTok? Just like Jules pops up. Yep. I know. There's people in chat tonight. He's so good looking. Yeah, all of a sudden he's fucking solid and trust. See how people trust so easy along these streets? They trust what everyone says. Oh, Seth said this. It must be true. Well, we learned that's not true, right? Seth says is not always true. Terrell Ken, she lied. She's been proven a liar by several people. It's crazy. He said he can vouch that Seth works with the FBI. Lucid. Stop it. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Just like Betty was an agent. Seth doesn't work for the FBI. No one's talking to the FBI. No one's talking to them. Yep, these people are all liars. Yeah, he's a Chris from the mob crew. Yeah, weird. We went over the Ruckus video months ago, y'all. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. He said it on his video today that he can vouch. Dude, but I learned the first time I shouldn't say those things. And now Betty's like sending everyone over there. Oh, Stephen Crabtree. Her whole thing was about Stephen Crabtree. Listen to my live from earlier. I was playing her while she was live, and I said, you know what? This is a fucking setup. This is a fucking setup. And I turned her off because he's fake. Seth works for the FBI. Yeah, just like Betty chasing down the fucking cop drunk in her underwear, telling the cop he's fucked because she's an FBI agent. Unbelievable. And Betty called the ACLU. And then I get a cease and desist from Crime Time Buzz, but they won't identify themselves. All these people can fuck directly off. All of them. All of them. In the Ruckus video, I'm so sick of hearing, Mob Crew found the video. Dude, we went over that months ago. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. You think this little redneck cooter that's out on his boat in Hendersonville can vouch for Seth about the FBI when he can't even get correct information from the corner store about cameras? I'm sorry I even reached out to him if that's true. It's frustrating as hell. I've had my marriage attacked. I've had my vagina attacked. All for the name of fucking truth. I got Bullhorn Betty over there talking about my cooter and then her alter ego sending me cease and desists. Oh, Jesus, JR, that's crazy. Now we got Turtle and Kin, best friend Crabtree, and everybody trusts them. Get the fuck out of here, man. When are you guys going to learn not to trust these people? Yeah, it's nuts. Tony Mathis threatening to ruin my marriage, threatening people's livelihoods, swearing they're going to take down my channel. Why? What are they so afraid of? What am I saying that makes them so mad? It's weird. And if that doesn't make you sus of Seth and his team, I don't know what does. What are they so mad about? But why do they need me to conform to them? Why? Why? Isn't this about finding a missing child who went like Houdini in the middle of the night? It's pure evil. It is. And I'm sick of being gaslit. And people go, what happened to Jay? The same girl, Brittany, sitting over there saying, oh, what happened to Jay? She's not the same. She's so mean. No, I'm sick of the bullshit. And I'm sick of watching people like you, Brittany, just succumbing to the bullshit. And not being, keen enough to pick up on it. If a parent isn't cleared, you don't give them a wrench and cozy up to them and have kitten talk in the middle of the night. Well, I'm telling you, if anybody trusts that Crabtree, they have been forewarned. All right, let's get back to this video so we can finish it up. We are talking about why is he so confident?
Mine either. But yeah. Thankfully, I am not law enforcement. We're not going to solve this case, but we can share some truth and share some support to the other side of Sebastian's family and send our prayers that he is returned safe and that justice can be served and people can learn how to do their own research. And maybe this kind of stuff can't get out of hand like it has ever again, where you have mainstream journalism taking some of these channels and running with them, thinking that everything that they're hearing on them is actually factual because they've buried down all of the truth in the algorithm to the point that...
Horrible. I mean, she accused me of some nasty things. And I'll tell you right now, if people really want to look, they can look at mine because all of my declarations aren't written by me. Yeah. I refuse to write anything bad about that lady. I refused. What happened behind closed doors? What she put me through? The hell that she put me through? I didn't have a thing. I mean, we're talking about I was 7 years without a girlfriend after the divorce. I didn't even, I wasn't looking for it. No. I mean, it takes time to heal from trauma, from abuse. And I was good living in my sanctuary, in my house. The only person that came into my house was my son. This is the safest place he knew because he felt safe here. Of course, he's going to feel safe in my sanctuary. Want to know why he slept all the time when he was here? I didn't give him sleep aids. Literally was asked what I did for him to sleep here at my house. And I told law enforcement, hot shower and some sleepy time tea, which is still up there in the cabinet, bought at Walmart. I do it myself so that I can get to sleep a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. That's it. I don't believe in this medication and stuff that he was taking. I never did. And one of the reasons she divorced me is because I refused to sign off on any type of pharmaceutical medication for my son because I believed in home remedies. He had ADHD.
I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, you can hear me now. I froze up, man. Holy shit. Sorry about that. What is sleepy tea? I don't know, like chamomile, I guess. Sorry, I think we're back now. Sorry about that. Ooh-wee. I left you guys for a minute.
PhD, then give him this. Got into arguments with psychologists at the school. You want to give him a cup of coffee every 2 hours. Well, you want to give him a pill every 4. I'd rather give him a cup of coffee and his kidneys will filter it out and he goes and takes a leak instead of building stuff up in the system. And you're giving him Ritalin. You're giving him basically pharmaceutical meth. What are you?
Now, I don't agree with, I'm not here to debate like tea or, I think he's talking about chamomile tea. And I do genuinely think that he was probably into more natural remedies. It sounds like he's, been schooled about, how bad these drugs are. I don't disagree with that. I really don't. But I think what's more important here is not really the topic, but really his tone and his mood and how he speaks about, what was going on in their marriage. Like he says, one of the reasons that she divorced me was because I wouldn't sign off for him to get these medications. Well, that tells me, this shit was going on before they divorced. So why are we hearing that Sebastian's diagnosis was only a year ago? If he's talking about before they divorced, he wasn't wanting to sign off. So, right. I mean, I think it's the undermining, it's the mood, it's how angry he's getting. It shows, a lot about his personality. And look, his fucking arm is up right now, up in the air, ruckus video style, up in the air. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that arm. Oh my God. Okay.
Trying to do to our kids.
Yeah. You wanted good, wholesome remedies to help you.
He, as a child, needed to understand that what happens if something happens to me? And all of a sudden he doesn't have insurance anymore. And then all of a sudden he has no idea what meds he's supposed to be on or anything else. And he's got to learn how to take care of himself. He's got to learn to function on his own without the use of medication. And until he was 8 years old, he wasn't on any medication. I refused that stuff. Didn't have a single problem, had a structure.
Until he was 8 years old, he didn't take medication.
And routine in the house, and he flourished with that.
He flourished?
So you are pretty angry that
he flourished? God, I can't even say that. Flourished with that?
That he was on medication.
He says, yeah, he's not going to have insurance. Katie is the one who had the insurance, but now she's going to go through this part about the 7 years of not having a girlfriend and stuff.
And you wanted him in your own type of ABA therapy. There's some pretty interesting, not modern day ABA still. They have the electric shock therapy in Connecticut. They have a lot of different things out there that most people would not agree with. But yeah, I find this a little unsettling, to be honest, that you would be worried about him functioning on his own without his medication. I mean, one would assume that he would still have his mom or Chris and grandparents if something happened.
Isn't it funny, too? Something just popped in my head that Seth brought up his wedding album on Jennifer Coffindaffer's, and that at one point, Turlinskin found a box that said Katie's senior picture, and it looked like a box that was thrown away. I wonder if those two things line up around the same time frame.
Happened to you, sir, since you weren't the main provider or caregiver, and it's only been in recent times that he was actually getting acclimated to every other weekend visitation? Because that's what you said, right? And you said earlier in this interview that he most likely may need.
If he was a groomer, he would have moved on to his next victim like a how do you know he didn't? We're believing him again. I haven't had any girlfriends. I haven't tried any. We don't know what he's done. He lies.
Need lifelong care?
Is he close to any neighbors?
Oh, God. Terry Lynn and her fucked up audio. I love how she made the screen like this because that's how my brain feels on Terry Lynn. This effect right here, this like psychedelic, whatever you call it, is my brain on motherfucking Terry Lynn. She says, was he close with any of the neighbors? Her and that fucking audio and her breathe. Oh my God.
It's not like he would tell me he wanted to go online. When he was here, most of the time, when his phone wasn't locked down and he was here, he was watching Minecraft videos on his phone. He would be watching Minecraft videos on his phone, watching Yu-Gi-Oh on the TV, and playing on his Switch.
Thank you, Malone. And that says, please tell Seth
I got 2 days with him.
Right.
And literally, it was.
Are you nuts? That would be negative.
I go pick him up on Friday when he gets out of school at 3:00. I literally get Saturday all day with him and then have to take him back on Sunday. So I'm really getting only one solid day with him. You think I'm going to punish my son?
Right.
You're out your fucking mind. Mr. Chris, I don't like the fact that he's, you got him wearing underwear at your house. Well, we don't have the accidents at my house that he seems to be having at your house. So why, again, am I going to have my son wearing a fucking diaper at my house when he can get up and go use the bathroom and not have an accident?
Do you think Katie and Chris stressed him out? Do you think that's why he was having accidents?
They stress me out. And I'm not a 15-year-old kid.
Wow. Well, your fucking tone stresses me out, dude. Like, literally, his tone is triggering. And it doesn't crack me up like funny, but he reminds me a lot of my ex-husband. And it's eerie. Not look-wise. It's the lack of empathy, the lack of awareness, the blatant lying, just all of those things. Bite my tongue. Seth loves his son, I believe. I have no idea what he feels. No idea what he feels. I'm not here to speak for him. I'm not here to speak for his love for him. I'm here to look at his words, his tone, what he says about the case, what he says about his son. I don't care if he loves everybody in this world. I'm not trying to be a bitch, but that's irrelevant. Like when you're an investigator and you look at a case, you don't look and go, well, I think he really loves his son. Hey, Detective Smith, we can't see him on camera from 3 to 5 a.m. Well, you know what? I think he really loves his son. So let's just don't worry about that camera business. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to worry about their dynamic with love and, how close he was to this parent or that parent or put them against each other. None of that. None of that matters. Everything he says matters. His tone matters. His anger when he talks about certain things matter. The way he's possessive sometimes matters. And it all puts puzzle pieces together. People can love their kids and still abuse them. So that really is irrelevant in this case. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Cheesy Wheezy? I haven't seen you in a long time.
I'm in law enforcement, and I'm literally at DDC with 65 inmates that are either murderers or in there for a long period of time about to go to prison. And those two stress me the fuck out and work them. Wow. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry. This is just one of those.
Take a deep breath, relax.
And this is probably gonna, my next questions are gonna kind of be geared toward Chris. So, according to Chris, both of you guys spoke. What he's told the world is basically you guys speak regularly. Is that true, and how often?
About Sebastian, yes.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's feeding me a line of bullshit every time I fucking spoke to him. And my phone number's still the same. And I know he probably watching. He probably in chat. Hi, Chris. Fuck off. You can call me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's like
And we wonder why Chris didn't want to work with this fucking clown, Tony Mathis.
That's been my key phrase, I guess.
Right.
But that's been my key phrase for a long time, way before my son went off to, play Houdini out of their house. Beat me up, Scotty. It's only a Chevy. But I'm just tired of the bullshit. No parent should be going through this.
Oh, good point, Austin.
Real life should not be masked in opinion and entertainment. Real life is not entertainment. This is a real case. These are real people. And it's just very disturbing and unsettling how far this is getting out of hand and has been for so long. And nobody has any accountability. You have people that actually have quite a following. They might have reached 100,000 subscribers, maybe 200, and they're pushing narratives that don't exist. Mm-hmm. That's dangerous. This is dangerous stuff. You don't understand the psyche of a lot of the viewers. You don't know what could make people snap from past trauma, all kinds of things.
It's so true. She's speaking truth. Kimberly, my ex lies the public can't get involved with anyone because I abused him. It's been 30 years. I'm sorry you went through that. I'm really sorry you went through that, Kimberly. He always said he couldn't talk to Katie. Oh, well, it's good to have you back, Cheesy. I know. Shit happens quick, doesn't it? My Seth just started when he told the public, if you don't like it, F off. I got weird vibes before then. I mean, I'm not trying to say but to make an excuse to say I think he loves his son, but if you're throwing a but in there, yeah, I don't know what he meant by it's only a Chevy. He talks in fucking riddles, man. But we're almost done with this. Hold on. He does say some weird things.
So I just hope people start to do the right thing. Don't let this be the blueprint for what people can do in the future. Because this in no way, shape, or form is helping anybody. And law enforcement, the FBI, CIA, TBI, everybody helping. There's not a doubt in my mind they know what they're doing. Whatever this is, it's not cool, guys. It's really disturbing. It needs to stop.
I agree with her. And you guys go sub up to Momming It Up.
Here.
Yeah, that pizza story. Ew. Why do you hate the 8-ball? Is it too sassy? So this is her channel, guys. I don't know where she came from or how she put all this together, but she's really good. So she's got several. And it's not a lot. She starts here 2 weeks ago. And the last one is 3 days ago. And then she does have 3 live streams. Oh, look. She has one where she goes over.
To not be able to profit.
Seth went on CJ's
DNA
too?
trail. Does that sound?
You guys, how did I not know he went on fucking CJ's? Have you guys seen this shit? How come I never saw this?
The thing is that Sebastian's alive, so going over places is actually something that we do because we have to. I mean,
okay, here, I'm going to give y'all her link so you guys can go give her the views. Only 229 people. I know. I don't watch anybody hardly. The only people I get to watch are Queen, Granny, Savage, and Clue. I can't watch those long streams. But Momming It Up is reviewing it. It says Seth Rogers, the interview everyone missed. Why the word salad? Go give her a review, y'all. She put it up June 8th. She streamed this June 8th. Here's the link. Go leave her a comment. Let her know J for J sent you. If everybody does it here, she'll have 1,000. Yep. I expect to see this number higher in the morning. We have 770 here. And I'd love to send them over to her. Why am I not subscribed? Oh, I must have subscribed to my other channel. I just gave her another subscribe. But that should be a good one. Put it on. Go get snuggled up. Did I see Michelle still here? Shell, love you. Hope you're doing good. Thank you, guys. Let's get her monetized in the next 30 seconds. Gary, you're so sweet. Gary, did you vacuum today? I just had to know. I just gotta know. Thank you guys for being open-minded. Thank you for looking at all angles of this case and every case that we follow. We have to do that.
Creep Town, dude.
And we have to remember that, you know, no matter how old a person is right now, at one point, if they suffered SA as a child, they're a victim. She commented back to you. I know, she was in my chat yesterday. I was so excited. Does anyone remember which channel had Seth on and he showed Sebastian's room? I never saw that. He did. I remember him saying that the room was tore up. It's called Momming It Up. I just put the link in chat, Jenny. Just click on it. Have you vacuuming every day? You drive your wife nuts with vacuuming? I know. Yeah, I heard him say like that they tore it up, like they could have at least made my son's bed. But I don't remember what it was. Obviously, there's interviews I've never seen because I've never seen this one on CJ's. So I'm going to go get cozy, get a snack. Oh, it was on the lab. Go Shell. It was on the lab. That answers your question. Thank you guys for the super chats tonight. You guys are so nice. You vacuum, dust, and mop every day? Newfie. Go girl. 8-Ball, is Seth, Katie, or Chris involved in Sebastian's disappearance? Let's see. Oh, Streamlab said, yes, I saw it in my dreams. I think it was Pascal when he showed Sebastian's room and said there was a GUN underneath it, underneath the bed. T-Rev too. You know, Potato made a list. Maybe we need to just go live and just kind of go through them and just go down the list. There's so many. But Potato did make a list with links that I have. Or the lab. I know there's a lot. We can do that. We can do that. We'll spend time over here kind of brainstorming this stuff. And we can talk a little more openly. I don't like that on the main channel just because I like to keep it more to the point. But it's okay to speculate, guys. It's okay to have theories. It's okay to have one theory. It's okay to have 10 theories. Don't make anyone make you feel guilty for following your gut. Oh, Nash, I've had a horrible day. That's why I can't sleep. But I think I can go chill now. We did have a slight rainstorm. It wasn't too bad, but my husband is in bed. He was throwing up all day. It's been a doozy. He really said a lot on T-Revs. I'm going to have to look at that list, make sure what we have, but I'd love to go through them in chronological order. Yeah. Yep. I'll get with Potato on that. Go have your sleepy time tea. Oh, but just don't have it with TikTok Tony. You never know. You never know what might be in it. All right, guys. Good night. I know. Thank you, Lee Michelle. I like hearing different theories too, and I like talking about it. Dude, I know it better not be contagious. I'm going to be whipping some ass. I cannot get sick. Okay. I can't. So everybody stay healthy. If you're feeling sick, I hope you feel better. If you're going through it, we're here for you. I'm going through it too sometimes. So thank you so much, you guys. If you guys have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Reverse rain dances are more than welcome. Thank you, Nash. All right, guys, I'm going to end it. Dance it out. Tomorrow's Friday. Bye, moderators. Thank you so much, everybody.